Welcome back, everyone, to the ELO Hell Esports broadcast. We are in a situation here where Atria, they're kind of stuck a little bit. They're 2-0 down in this series, and they've got to come back, try and get a reverse sweep going, Diggy. How do we think they're going to do that?
Simple. I'm play more Farah. I mean, it worked out for them in map number 2, and I think they could potentially try it out for this third map. I feel like this third map, we are gonna be moving on to Escort, and the map is gonna be Junkertown here. Obviously not like a Farah map. This map actually, but it leads a lot more to kind of poke, hit scan in a way. We could even see some Widowmaker potentially on this map. This is kind of her map to shine on, especially on first point. Farah is also an option here, but Rush is definitely one of those compositions that is harder to run on this map.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, coming into Junkertown, I definitely think that at least in EU anyway, you're going to see a lot of just basic double shield. I don't think that you're going to see anything too outrageous here. I have seen Sig Hog be played on this map before, but I don't think it's typically something that you'll see, at least at this level. Maybe a little bit lower than this level, but I think that these teams are good enough not to play Sig Hog.
I mean, we could only hope and pray to see it. You know what I mean? Like if one of these teams, like if Atria comes out with Sig Hog, okay, never mind. I thought I could will it into existence if I really tried, but
you were gonna manifest it.
Yeah, my will's not strong enough. But yeah, like you said, look at this double shield, and it looks like they're gonna be playing double sniper too with Hanzo and Widowmaker. Black at the SpongeBob on the Widow here. Going to be interesting to see. They're also playing Rar on this Mercy here, so giving a little more damage boost to either their Hanzo or their Widows. See if it works out for them. But looks like Team Speed Boost might be mirroring them in some fashion here.
Yeah, Team Speed Boost, they're playing a similar comp, but it's not the same. Unless I swap this kind of ball off. But I don't
Look
think
how
they will.
far back SpongeBob is playing.
Yeah, I think the ball can deal with that, though. I think the ball can just pester SpongeBob.
Oh, yeah. Donna is going to just bully SpongeBob on this Widow. I can already tell. I mean, she is such a susceptible target to dives coming in. And Donna, who can just kind of operate on her own, is going to be able to... should at least put her in place somewhat. And I think that's probably the reason SpongeBob is staying at least a little bit so far back.
Yeah, and if one pile drive puts him at 30% ult charge, this is going to be a very fast mines we're going to see here from Speed Boost. And yeah, it's difficult to play here for Atria because you're going to have this ball that boops you off the high ground, and yeah, that's a predicament and a half. But CF Man does end up falling, actually. SpongeBob getting a kill.
Nice.
Looking for another one up on the high ground, but I'm not entirely sure if that's going to happen. Instead, I mean, Dona's just not doing what we were saying they should do, which is pass the Widowmaker. Instead, they go for the Baptiste in the backline there as Ante does fall low. Not quite going to catch anything, though, and now we're in a little bit of a lull in activity, as that ball's going to get quite a little bit, but not quite dying.
There's no bullet passing through walls. This isn't Valorant, SpongeBob. You can't shoot through the stairs, no matter how hard you try. Look at this. Now he's starting to pester the Widowmaker.
Yeah, so they've recognized a win condition, but SpongeBob has already gotten lured down. That's their win condition, just getting kills with the Widowmaker here, as those mines do come through to try and zone people off for Atria, but they've got that Immortality field to keep themselves up. Valk as well just does enough healing and perhaps damage boost to keep him in this fight, and with Dona falling, Atria, they're holding strong.
Yeah, they're really Speed Boost is really struggling to try to get in here without the Lucio at their disposal. You know what I mean? Like Gremory trying to get in through this little choke right here, and I just feel like Lord is trying so hard to try to find an off angle to contest. But look at the setup from Atria here. They're pretty comfortable. They're not in too much pressure whatsoever. SpongeBob is very comfortable playing this far back.
It's really smart positioning, but I mean, yeah, it's not smart positioning. Well, I mean, smart positioning doesn't really matter. Sorry, if you don't get kills, that's the main thing. Yeah, that they just die off immediately.
It was working for a little bit, but I think Team Speed Boost remembered that they were supposed to try to win this map, and so they turned it on a little bit. And look at this, no ultimates committed too, which was actually crazy. Oh, well, actually, Dirt did use Valk here, but that was the only ultimate that they committed. ultimate's going to be coming on from either side here, since that map, that team fight was won pretty one-handedly.
Yeah, and that Transcendence here is critical because it'll counter the Flux from Twisted, but it also allows Speed Boost a little bit of pressure, right? They can take just 3 off angles in that situation, but Donut doesn't really want to push in just yet. CF Man falls, Anti gets the kill onto them. It seems to be CF Man that just falls first in a lot of these team fights, and it ends up being Dirt Master to follow it after trying to go for the res, so that's immediately just docks the push.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing against 2 heroes that can kill you instantly, it is kind of difficult as a person who's supposed to be, you know, going on the flank here with minimal healing. You know, he does have the healing orb on him, but that's not really going to save you from a Widow headshot or a Hanzo arrow to the face.
Oh, look at Dragon Strike here. Yeah, they go for it. Oh, nice. And that'll force everyone out of position. You're going to get a kill onto Lord here as well. Good stuff comes through from there for Anti. Really smart play.
And then he decides to go in to try to contest the Orisa and then dies because he doesn't have any healing. Okay.
Awkward, to say the least, but there is still a fight going on. I mean, Twisted is under a lot of pressure to Donut there, who does use the mines. I guess it almost takes out Ryan Vader and Toby stuck in the corner. Donut manages to clean up on that Orisa finally, so finishing CF Man's job.
Oh, the pile driver
comes through as well. That is huge. Lord just cleans it up.
Yeah, spot advantage from Team Speed Boost means that they can come in a lot more quickly than Atria is on the double shield with no boost whatsoever, and now they're going to be in a very comfortable position to take a final fight. Is Atria even going to contest? It looks like they do want to, yeah. They have the ultimates to contest them too.
Information that they need, but SpongeBob falls instead, so in fact those sides don't even serve him well. Instead of me Anti just pushing onto the point here, trying to take up the enemy Orisa, but the Transcendence is there in time. I mean, I was saying that Void's Transcendence is going to be important, and it pretty much was there. Speed Boost, they're going to roll this one straight through, with Void getting a lot of kills towards the end here. Zen can put out a lot of damage.
Definitely, he is the damage dealer of this composition for sure, and he is, yeah.
4K, okay. Show off, why don't you?
I say one sentence and then he just gets 2 more kills. Come on, Void. Let me talk a little bit. Looks like Atria wants to try to match this in some way because Twisted is going to be switching onto the ball here. So
that's yeah, so they're mirroring. They're going what Speed Boost are going. That's weird.
Now Toby is going to be staying on the Baptiste, however. Maybe he feels more comfortable than staying under the Miata. He doesn't want to get bullied. But Void's doing a pretty good job of not getting bullied here as he tries to search for a headshot. Doesn't find it yet, but was very close.
Yeah, and these discords are so important here. I mean, look at that. Almost burst down Ryan Vader. And they can just poke these angles, and it does a lot of work for them as now they're rotating up to the high ground. And that Bongo is going to do a lot of work in keeping Atria off the point. I mean, look at that. CF Man just has to tap him with a melee, and it ends up killing them off. Ryan Vader will also go down, so there's no tank line available here for Atria, and everyone's looking a little bit tender as the target. Trace is going to come through onto the point and try and get a kill, but Ante can't really do much in this scenario.
Yeah, Bongo on the high ground is so good because with the, I mean, it just negates any type of aggression that Atria wants to take onto that high ground as well. Allows them to get, some more damage in from CF Man. And now Atria is in a tough position because they don't have high ground anymore, so they can only play on this last point here. They're going to put windows up, but this off angle from Lord is so good. Bob in there.
Yeah,
for
I mean,
measures.
It's going to get contested just a little bit there by Twisted, but just not enough. Anti falls, and even though Lord does get forced a little bit back in the Ash duel there, and SpongeBob is coming towards a Bob, it's still going to be difficult here with this Transcendence from Void, but with Donut falling, I mean, it's looking a little bit more even. Raw will also get traded out here, and there's going to be an attempt to one-clip the Ash. Actually, CF Man manages to do that, looking for a little bit more onto the Orisa as well, as Twisted has to use his mines just to try and keep themselves alive. Power Drive comes through there from Donut to clear them all off, though, and they use the mines of their own. That's going to clear this Orisa away from the point, actually, as the Innovator has to back up. But Void is on to fall instead. I wonder if this happened. Atria coming back into this, especially given that they have this pulse bomb from Anti. Bongo comes through there from Speed Boost. This pulse bomb, though, it lands onto the Orisa, doesn't manage to take him out, but the Bob that cleans up onto it instead. And Atria looks like they're stabilizing, finally.
Yeah, that was a combination of spawned spawn advantage and also just Lord not being available at the beginning of that fight. He went down pretty early. That's basically your main source. Ooh, nice headshot. Basically your main source of long range damage gone right there, and your off angle too, which gives Atria a chance to, you know, focus on, you know, a big target in the Orisa on the enemy team on Gremory. And now look at this, Void's they're trying to pressure out Void here, but Twisted is the only one capable of that.
You cannot be overextending like that in that situation. Now it's going to have to be that res coming through, but you can't save that for SpongeBob or Ante now, and Ante's gone over to the Junkrat to try and get some more damage into the core. Not going to happen though. Void manages to take out the enemy healer. Ante gets a kill with a trap there. Not entirely sure how that's been manufactured, but CF Man is still here with the pulse bomb, gets SpongeBob as well. It's going all great here. Speed boost, they just got a not C9, and of course they won't get the final push through. And they've capped 3 points on Junkertown, which is a feat in and of itself.
Yeah, same thing happened on Eichenwald as well. They captured 3 points. Are we gonna see another first point hold? I'm not too sure. You know, Atria, Ante, he tried so hard, but in the end, it didn't really matter. I mean, that last-minute desperation switch onto Junkrat was pretty hilarious, but didn't matter too much.
Yeah, and
but now Atria has the chance to defend here, and well, actually, no, sorry, they have the chance to attack here, and it's gonna be interesting to see what they want to do. They want to continue to run more of this double shield with either SpongeBob on the Widowmaker. That was working pretty well for them on first point. It looks like they want to continue running the Wrecking Ball Orisa here.
Yeah, and to enlighten you actually on the Ante Junkrat, if this is the same Ante I'm thinking of, which I think it is, I've casted them before, and Junkrat was kind of their comfort pick. They were getting like 4-man ties all the time. Don't know if it's the same Ante. If not, then, you know, it's just a coincidence, but definitely could be their comfort pick. That's why they went onto it.
You might just be blacklisting all Antes out there.
Maybe.
Maybe that's it. You need to reevaluate your worldview, man.
Oh
Antes
Lord,
can play something different other than Junkrat.
Yeah, let's not stereotype Antes, shall we?
Yes, let's not.
Well,
but it looks like Atria wants to run a double shield here, so they will have a little bit more disruption for the Wrecking Ball from Donna, but not too much.
The difference here is that you can discord the enemy tank line still here for speed boost, right? Even though Donna's back on this wall, I mean, if Donna gets in there, pal drives, and then you get a discord off, that's just a dead tank line if I've ever seen one. So Atria
literally just happened right there.
In the offense.
As you said, it literally just happened. Like Twisted almost went, or SpongeBob almost went down. So
yeah. Oh, but they managed to take out Dirtmaster, so that's a very, very good return for them. And as long as Donna stays alive here, which is difficult, but they managed to, this is still looking good for speed boost. The SpongeBob will be quickly back from spawn, and CF Man might go for a flank here, actually going to try and put some pressure onto that payload, but Lord is actually under a lot of pressure, so low on that health ball. Finally gets healed back up, but just getting chipped down ever so slightly as SpongeBob gets dove onto in the backline there. Very aggressive play from Donna and CF Man, but they combined like 2 anime characters, so it works out for them as well. Taken down as well by CF Man. They are just being a menace in the backline right now.
Yeah, they did the right thing. They gave up some space when they realized their main healer was down, allowed them to come back from spawn. You know, you're a Mercy, you can just Guardian Angel right back to point, no problem whatsoever. SpongeBob getting another pick here, but it's not going to matter too much here. CF Man can get it back on pretty quickly. And I mean, this team is living or dying by SpongeBob's heroics right now on the Widowmaker.
Yeah, and they were doing it with Ante as well on the Pharah before. They're obviously not playing it here, but SpongeBob is their next best thing, I suppose. They're going to try and go on the off angle and take out that Tracer, but CF Man is in position alongside Donna to try and at least eliminate a couple players. They'll back off a little bit and give some space over, but Toby's Immortality Field is gone, so that leaves Donna very much able to get into the back here and do damage. Instead, it's CF Man that does all that though, right? Why am I saying Donna's name when it's just CF Man in the kill feed all over the place? Even a Glock being whipped out right now from Dirtmaster.
Yeah, and the great thing about that from Team Speed Boost is you only used one ultimate right there. The Valkyrie was all that was needed, and then the rest was just outplay mechanics and, you know, just positioning in general. From Donna, from everybody else, SpongeBob is having such a hard time. He's getting all the pocketing he needs and he wants, but it's not enough against the Discord Orb and the Wrecking Ball. Ante moving over to a Sombra now. Very
Yeah, this
interesting.
is an
Maybe
odd
this will
comp
be
swap, don't you think?
really good against the Wrecking Ball if he can hack the ball when he tries to go
Oh,
in for
and
those power drivers.
yeah,
He
you
does.
called it. Donut gets hacked up, and that pulse bomb has to come through to at least assist in keeping Donut alive, and somehow they're back into this. But SpongeBob takes out Void in the midst of all of the chaos. Gorilla Flux will end up coming through, and Dirtmaster's hacked up, so a very, a killable target, and they do get killed off. Toby traded out here, though, and CF-Man's going to go into the back and try and pressure out the enemy Widowmaker. SpongeBob still has to try and stay alive, but instead his Bremery will end up falling, and CF-Man is soon to fall as well as soon as, they actually get taken out, but they're still somehow alive in the back, thriving. And Ante actually gets taken out, so Donut's coming back into this. They return, and this is good for a recon.
Guys, you have to move the cart. Guys,
yep,
you have to move
that
the cart.
is the objective of Overwatch.
Please, don't make me do this.
Oh my lord. And do they lose a fight because of that? Don't tell me they lose a fight because of that. Lords actually
do,
kills off
'cause
SpongeBob here.
They're coming back from spawn.
Yeah, there's multiple players coming back from spawn, and Void and Donut doing all the work in the front. 20 seconds remaining, and they're still going to get stagger kills here. Reinnovator and Twisted are going to fall, so there's going to be no tank line in the stall fight. And what? Raw? What? Okay, I'm not even going to question it.
And not only are you staggering out here, you got no ultimates to even try to come back in here. Like, unless Ryan pops down mines and then, like, the enemy team just ignores the mines.
Okay. They finally touched there. SpongeBob manages to get onto it, but Reinnovator is going to get taken down. And, yeah, Donut's coming up on the mines. Those will be able to be used to zone everyone off, but you don't even need to. You're just getting the eliminations at this point that are doing all the work for you, and that is it. Speed boost. They end up taking the series 3-0 here, and, well, we love to see it.
Yeah, very dominant showing from Speed Boost. They did not let their foot off the pedal the entire time. They kept it up. Over the speed limit, I would even say. Void on the Zenyatta in this map was going crazy a little bit. He was kind of a freak of nature here, especially with this little point here where he just gets 3 kills. Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, Atria, they showed some great stuff. I did love what they had to show from the Pharah, especially. I think SpongeBob was doing some great things, but unfortunately, I think just overall team diff is kind of the way to describe this match.
Yeah, genuinely. I mean, SpongeBob and Ante were trying their best on the heroes they were good at, but on Junkertown you can't run the Pharah, and on the other maps you can't run the Widowmaker. And even then, SpongeBob wasn't even making too much of an impact on Widowmaker, was getting a few kills here and there, but they just couldn't convert those kills into teamfight victories. And like we saw at the end there in that second to last team fight, they sat there and didn't move the cart when they already won the fight, and then that was lost in the next fight.
Yeah, that was so sad. You could have potentially had a case where you could have finished that first point potentially if you had somebody moving that cart the entire time, but in that moment they were just focused on finishing the team fight, focused on trying to catch the stragglers, and in reality what they were actually doing was just staggering themselves, just by allowing, like, even if you had been getting killed while moving the cart at the same time, I think potentially they could have finished that first point. But yeah, it's just unfortunate when you're in that headspace, you're kind of not even thinking about cart, especially when there's only like 3 players alive on your team, and the person who is supposed to be moving cart is dead, and you just don't realize it at the time. So unfortunate there. We could have potentially saw some more from Atria as they went on to second point, but I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, team speed boost was just better.
Yeah, they were just built different. What can we say?
A little bit, yeah.
It was literally, and as well on that last map as well. We love to give praise to the DPS players who were doing great, and the tank players that had great synergy, and the backline dives from the ball and the tracer. But someone that I really just want to point out was Void on that last map. The Transcendences were coming quickly. They always had discores onto the dive targets. They were constantly getting eliminations of their own as a Zenyatta. Like, you cannot ask for more out of your Zen player in that situation.
Yeah, I would probably say Void was the MVP of this match, probably. I mean, even off of the Zenyatta, even off of the Zenyatta on the first 2 maps on BAP and Moira, he was putting in a lot of good work with his coalescence and his windows. His healing was instrumental for them winning those first 2 maps on the rush compositions, and on the Zenyatta, he was kind of pounding.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they definitely were pounding. And to be fair, I mean, Void was basically uncontested, right? I mean, we were talking about how the DPS presence of Atria was probably one of their better things, but it's not like it was a DPS presence that was forcing Speed Boost to play in a different way. It was just, oh, DPS presence, oh, a kill here and there, right?
Yeah,
It's not
exactly.
like you're pressuring out the backline while also getting kills, while also setting up your team. You've got to play so much more proactive as a DPS player in that situation, not just rely on, oh, let me go headshot people, you know?
hmm So yeah, for Atria, I would say moving forward in the group stages and even in playoffs, one of the things they should probably want to work on is better coordination with your DPS to really let them be able to shine in those types of situations where you can then start uh, going off of your DPS plays or even your DPS trying to sync up better with the rest of your team because like you said, yeah, I mean Ante was getting, 5Ks with his barrages, but at the end of the day, if you're not setting up your barrages with the rest of the team, or when you're trying to barrage when the rest of your team is in a unfavorable position and then you just get caught out, then yeah, it's not going to make much of a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And any last thoughts on this series? I mean, I think it was just a typical 3-0 roll. There were some opportunities for Atria to get points on the board, but they didn't convert on them.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is week one of group stages, so I really do think that this is a loss that Atria can take to heart and then maybe come back even stronger for week number two, and then Team Speed Boost. You got a lot of good things going for you, and I really hope to see them kind of shine in the intermediate division moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will, of course, be going to a little bit of a stream break here before our next game, so don't go anywhere. In just a short while, we'll have more Overwatch coming to you shortly.
Heart overhead, and I guess love to watch the way you made me into a mess. Hands on my dress, neon red. You were everything I didn't need until you left. it's not right. I miss you missing me like you used to, yeah, like you used to. I miss you kissing me like you used to, like only you do. You know the good things are never as good as the bad, and your love is better than anything I've ever had. Oh, I miss you missing me like you used to, yeah, like you used to. I know you're gone, and you probably just forgot me, yeah, you're moving on. But I can't let go, 'cause I'm still sleeping with the moments, lying with your ghost. Now I'm dancing around my living room, I get drunk on the thought of you and you're not mine. But I miss you missing me like you used to, yeah, like you used to. I miss you kissing me like you used to, like only you do. You know the good things are never as good as the bad, and your love is better than anything I've ever had. Oh, I miss you missing me like you used to, yeah, like you used to. Heart overhead, and I guess I love to watch the way you made me into a mess. I miss you missing me like you used to, yeah, like you used to. I miss you kissing me like you used to, like only you do. You know the good things are never as good as the bad, and your love is better than anything I've ever had. Oh, I miss you missing me like you used to, yeah, like you used to. You know the good things are never as good as the bad, and your love is better than anything I've ever had. Oh, I miss you missing me like you used to, yeah, like you used to. When we were 15, I remember the car rides, small fights, conversations all night. I never saw you as anything more than a friend, but now I see you in a new light. We're getting older, there's a sparkle in your eyes that wasn't there before. You give me butterflies, it makes me wonder if there could be something more. We were only kids when we first met. Now let's discover what we haven't yet. I don't wanna wonder what could have been. So baby, take my hand and let my love in. Let my love in. When we were 15, when we were 15, I remember the car rides, small fights, conversations all night. I never saw you as anything more than a friend, but now I see you in a new light. We're getting older, there's a sparkle in your eyes that wasn't there before. You give me butterflies, it makes me wonder if there could be something more. There you go again, looking so handsome. Oh, you have your way, and it's making me weaken. You and your stardust, walking like that. It's really getting too much, but I can't pull back. Though I try to resist, I can't fight this. And no one makes me feel like you do. And no one sets my body on fire. And no one gives me shivers like you. Oh, no one does it better. How I try to sleep, but you're deep in my mind. Got a hold of me. When I'm awake, I'm all blind. You and your magic, like infinite power. God knows I try to resist, but you're pulling me closer. Oh, I gotta stay away, but you won't let me. And no one makes me feel like you do. And no one sets my body on fire. And no one gives me shivers like you. Oh, no one does it
Welcome everyone back to the Elo Hell Esports broadcast. We are one game down, one game to go here, Diggy. We've got, well, not Team Speedus and Atria, we've got a different set of teams. We've got Orthus and Invades Codebreakers. So, two new teams in the rookie division, and you said you're excited to cast this because they're rookies.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, technically these guys are in my SR range, so I'm looking for just a whole lot of things that I would do, which is just like not good stuff at all. I'm just kidding. No, I mean, when you're playing in a team environment, obviously you're going to be playing at like the top of your game more likely. You're going to be playing, you know, with a sense of urgency, with, you know, a sense of, oh my gosh, this is my team. I want to do good. Definitely. I definitely can relate to how that feels. I'm just excited to see some, you know, people in my SR range, we do things a bit more raw. Let's just say that. Let's go with that description.
What is your SR range?
Let's not get too personal here. It's a bit complicated.
Invades Codebreakers.
There we go.
Orthus, yeah. Good topic change there. Yeah, brilliant. So Invades Codebreakers, a team that I don't know personally, but they do have a roster here, which we'll list off.
They have
they
a
got
sick
Arsena.
name.
Yeah, wait. Oh, they do actually. Codebreakers is a very sick name.
Yeah.
They got Arsena, Yuki, Grimilin, I think Grimilin, Ilan, Prophecy, and Plocalypse.
Elpacalypse. That is a name, I will say.
Yeah. pronunciation isn't my strong suit.
I think it's a playoff of Alpaca and Apocalypse. I appreciate the effort.
A lot easier names here on Orthus, though. We got
There we
Tiki,
go.
Crafty, Asif, Opsy, Egoist, Valkyrie, and Black Ice. So a lot of easier names on that team.
Yeah, for sure. And we are gonna be starting on Nepal again because that is the default map for week 1 and week 2. So Nepal once again starting off on control. Remember, guys, this is a 1st to 3 series, which means team that gets the first 3 map wins is going to be winning. We will go until one team gets 3 wins, and then from there we get to we go on to the different map types. So hybrid, escort, assault, and then back onto control if we need be. Looks like that is you are casting from a beautiful place. I will say.
Yes,
It
yes.
looks like you
I'm
moved your
currently
casting
in the
setup.
forest.
Yeah, you look like you moved your casting setup to the forest.
I've miraculously teleported into the woods on a path. So yeah, just so you guys know, that is because my cam just died. But yeah, so I'm now in the woods. But yeah, so Nepal's our first map here, which is coincidentally Codebreaker's favorite map. So
Oh. So if they lose this, then they've lied to us. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Pressure on you, Codebreakers. I mean, but if you're giving yourself such like a advanced name like Codebreakers, you're putting the pressure on yourself automatically because we are. I am 100% taking you seriously now. Like I expect you to move up to Overwatch League at this point.
Wait, what?
Because you're putting expectations in my head with Invades Esport. It's like, it's too cool. It's too cool for school.
Yeah, too cool for school. We'll go with that. We'll go with that analogy for now, I suppose.
I think the Red Bull is
yeah.
kicking in, by the way. Just saying.
The Red Bull? Oh,
Yeah.
you drank Red Bull before this, yeah. No, I prefer Monster.
All right. Well, we are going to be starting off here. Like I said, in the previous match, I was talking about how much I loved Control. It definitely is a map type that shows off your sort of your specialties. You can run a whole lot of different stuff. Here we are in the forest again, by the way. Get a better view of your. Is that a stick you're holding?
It is a stick. It's a very long stick. I'll tell you that much. I'd be looking like Harry Potter out here.
I wasn't gonna say it.
Yeah, well, I'm the one that said it, so there you go. I'm willing to admit it.
I will say. But yeah, like I said, Nepal, a lot of different stuff you can play on Nepal, whether you're starting off on Village or Sanctum or even the other one, the one with the pillar in between. It didn't say that in the last map, but a lot of different stuff. You can run the Rush, you can run the Dive, and you can run sort of the Wrecking Ball spam compositions here. But looks like we are going to be starting off on Sanctum here.
Yeah, or how did you know that from just this? What?
Because I know, because it's the stone walls. I'm sort of a a lore enthusiast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but that is intelligence to a new level. This is why you're a colorcaster. But yeah, it is revealed now. We are on Sanctum.
It looks like Codebreakers, they might be starting off on the double shield here, which would be a pretty cool departure from what we were seeing last match. Double shield with Echo. Orthus might be playing this Wrecking Ball kind of Pharah-ish composition, though I'm not sure how good Pharah is on this particular map. They might switch, but it looks like they will be sticking with it.
Oh, I just realized something. The DPS players for Invades Codebreakers, their names are a reference to an anime. So that's very interesting. Clearly, they've got some synergy going on here. But yeah, they're coming out on the Ash Echo here with a double shield. This can get torn apart by Orthus' composition, though.
Yeah, Orthus' composition is all about, disruption and, long-range poke, while Codebreakers, their focus is really going to be on preservation, on sustainability, with a Bap Mercy backline here. And it looks like Asuna has already been caught out.
Yeah, Yuki separated from that duo, I suppose, here is... you can't even go for the res if you're Alpaca Lips. You kind of have to play carefully and not get taken out, but Prophecy doing the opposite of that, getting taken out and not playing carefully, as Orthus take point control here, and they're happy to just get maybe some stagger kills here.
Yeah, that was kind of an interesting approach that they took there, kind of a two-pronged attack where Orisa and some of the the supports went to one side and then the other half of the team went to the other. Unfortunately, it just kind of made them easier targets for the Pharah here starting off here. I mean, don't really expect a whole lot of Pharah to be seen on this map, so I can't blame them too much. But I mean, look at this. Orthus is playing the Lucio Mercy backline, which I find pretty interesting. It means that they're really prioritizing aggressiveness rather than pokey, or kind of a mix between both.
Yeah, they definitely want to play aggro here with that ball, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They've got the first pick. Yuki is going to try and, you know, contest that Pharah, but you just can't do that when they got a Mercy Rocket. And now Tiki's going to go for the barrage, almost collects themselves on the wall, but Arsene is going to be the one to get that kill instead. But damage is already done here, unless Yuki can really clutch up. It doesn't really matter, though. Asef manages to get 2 kills, and, well, Crafty Fox uses that Pulse Bomb as well to get another one.
Yeah, I thought Tiki was gonna just eat it right there. Kind of, they were really close to that wall right there. They did manage to get the 2 kills onto the tank and the support. And now, if you're Code Breakers, you have a chance to go in here. Yuki has been trying to contest the Pharah this entire time, and now they have the copy to try to. They copy the Pharah too, which is pretty interesting. Almost catches Oppie by surprise here, but they will be able to build this barrage relatively quickly. Asuna goes down once again.
Oh, I love that POV. Yuki hit your shots challenge clearly here is, I mean, everyone's going to fall here again on Invade's Code Breakers. Yuki unable to really do anything. And even though the rest comes through from Alpacalypse, that Valk is going to expire very, very soon. Bongo's going to get destroyed here, actually, and no kill's going to come from it, so Orthus, they're already setting the tempo early on, a 99-0, and looking to make it 100-0 unless Arsene manages to get a 6k. They're coming up on a Bob, which could actually stall things out for quite some time. They just need to stay alive and build that up. But that immortality field gets broken just in the nick of time there. Oppie gets 2 with the bomb, and Yuki has no duplicate to try and sustain themselves on this point. 100-0 there for Orthus, like I said, and well, they're doing just what the red team did last time around, which is set the tempo early on.
Yeah, setting the tempo indeed, not even letting Code Breakers get onto the point for most of that match. Yeah, that was really a situation where they just couldn't deal with the Pharah. Nobody was really paying her much attention. Yuki was trying to contest them, but in the end, well, I'm not going to say that quote twice. I almost made a reference to a quote that I did last match, but I'm not going to do it again. I'm not that cheap.
Some of us are, though. Some of us are. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, Invade's Code Breakers, they'll be coming out on the Cowboy Symmetra. And we got a Cowboy Mate here for Orthus, so a little tiny compositional difference that can make all the difference here. In fact, Yuki goes back to Reaper.
Reaper, Cowboy, I love to see it. These are the compositions that you see in plat and gold. I just love to see it. But
yeah, I mean this
right now.
Yeah, this Cowboy Reaper can go so aggressive if it's played right, but you can't get caught out by a flash left click like that. Just not good enough. And Asef is going to go into the front line, just smack up the enemy Baptiste and the Reinhardt, in fact, as they will end up falling. That's going to be another first point count coming through here for Orthus, and they're already coming up on a good few ultimates, especially with that pin for the Prophecy.
Yeah, I mean, you see how much freedom that Asef has there. He can just continuously swing without having to worry too much about, you know, taking damage, because he just knows he can swing. Looks like, but Gremlin did manage to get a good amount of damage in themselves, and they will be able to come in, both teams, with the shatter, but one of them was kind of better than the other.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an earlier shatter there from Asef, as Prophecy doing just what everyone does in flat games, which is invest in ultimate when you're multiple players down. To be fair, they could have turned that around, but everyone was so scattered.
Yeah, like I said, shatter is such a hard ultimate to get value out of nowadays, but a good one like that, I mean, it's kind of impossible. You kind of have to turn your eyes off to not get at least a little bit of value out of that. Okay, but now you're coming back in. You're gonna have the shatter again. Prophecy did use the Baptiste ultimate, so unfortunately not gonna have that. Orthus is going to have 2 DPS ults to try to zone Code Breakers, kind of a little bit wall for disruption here.
Yeah,
Ooh,
Vermilion's
good one.
trying to get in there and maybe let loose the slam, but they slam right into the shield. It's going to be the Blizzard from Tiki just playing super aggro. They get taken out for their
Tiki goes
troubles,
down.
but that high noon from the off angle can do a good bit of damage, as well as just the swings coming through here from Asif. Manages to take out Prophecy. And Orthus, they're once again in last fight territory, and they look unstoppable right now, Diggy.
Yeah, there's really not too much, and Asuna is just getting staggered out here. I mean, yeah, there's really not too much that Codebreakers even has to work with coming into it. I mean, I guess you can have the beat, and then you could potentially build up this Yuki ultimate to try to make something out of the Death Blossom here. But, like I said, not too much. Ilin is going to get their mech back, but not for long.
Yeah, that slam comes through, but the bomb could be dangerous. Everyone has to back up just a little bit there on Orthus, and that gives space for everyone to get in here for Invade's Codebreakers. They have to rely on this Reaper ultimate that we were talking about before. That remech will come through from RPL, deal a lot of damage to Vermilion, who needs to stay alive, as well as Yuki, coming up so close to the Blossom. It's going to be a slam onto two members there. RP doesn't actually get taken out there, though. Crafty from the outside, actually getting Crafty with that flash. Manages to take one out, but Yuki gonna fall before they can get a Death Blossom through, and that looks like it here. Orthus, they'll clean up off the back of that shatter coming through from Asif, and yeah, that was just a slaughter and a half coming through. And Orthus going to map up in the series now.
Yes, I mean, you saw the Reinhardt stats right there. Asif actually just was doing things that a normal Reinhardt shouldn't be able to do. Reinhardt is supposed to be balanced in a way that, you know, he's supposed to have to, you know, kind of prioritize shield and, you know, swinging his hammer. But, you know, it was mostly swing town from Asif coming out here. And that, I mean, it just goes to show how much freedom he had, or they had, to be able to swing their hammer without much knockback.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was just a bit of a massacre, wasn't it? I mean, Orthus, they were playing constantly aggressive. Invade's Codebreakers couldn't really do anything about that because they were just playing so slow. They used a lot of resources early on in fights as well. I mean, I'd like to draw attention to the Immortality Field usage for Invade's Codebreakers. Oftentimes, they just end up using it, you know, willy-nilly and not really getting much out of it, whereas Orthus, they were consciously being like, okay, our Reinhardt's about to die, let's use it here. There's an ultimate coming up, let's use it here. They are the ones with a better game plan, and not just ultimate wise, right? I mean, that's the surface level of it. They are planning out what cooldowns they'll use and when, even. Like, that's good for a plat team.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that is definitely something that plat teams kind of need to work on in terms of understanding the game more fundamentally. And obviously, Orthus has a pretty good grasp on those basic strategies. I find it really impressive, by the way, that you managed to make that point while at the same time not moving your lips. I had no idea that you were a ventriloquist.
Yeah, it's just part of the craft, you know. I've mastered it.
Is that part of your Harry Potter training that you were mentioning earlier?
Yeah, it's magic. It's like, you're a muggle, you wouldn't understand.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Anyway, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the next map coming up is, but we know it's going to be hybrid, and we were talking a bit earlier about how it could be King's Row. So what do you think of that? Because these teams were mirroring Brawl for
Oh, come on, Lee. You can't pick King's Row unless you were like screaming hardcore on King's Row like most teams do, and you're just like super confident in your ability to play the rush into this once more. I mean, playing rush with an objective in mind, like while you're centered around a cart or centered around like a point, is a lot different from playing rush on like a control point, like Nepal. There is some differences, and it actually does look like King's Row is going to be the next map here. So I mean, listen, there's Caster's Curse. There is still going to be some chance for Codebreakers to show a little bit more life here in this second map if they really, seriously practiced on King's Row playing. But right now I'm not too sure that that's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, King's Row, I said this last time as well, right? The exact same thing, but you can also see some kind of 6-man being played here. It's not impossible. I doubt plat teams are going to be playing it because 6-man is like, it's not a hard composition. It's just a little bit harder than Brawl to play, unless you have like a Monkey specialist or a Sombra specialist. I know myself, I prefer to play the Sombra over the Mei from time to time.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Sombra is definitely one of those heroes, but Sombra is one of those heroes that's well, actually, both of those heroes are pretty hard to play in a team environment, but you can get a little more value out of Sombra if you just prioritize doing damage, getting EMP as quickly as possible, and then using that to close out team fights that otherwise wouldn't be winnable. So I could definitely see some Sombra coming out here, or some Mei if you still feel more comfortable on that. Or otherwise, you could just go goats.
Yeah,
I would
just go
say
goats,
goats
guys.
is
It's my diamond
probably
game. Go goats.
it's probably a better option for them at this point. I feel like if they managed to, they could somehow manage to break the game and go goats, they would probably be able to stand a chance.
Oh. I mean, I'm pretty sure that'd be against the rules of GitGud. I'm not entirely sure on that
We'll
one.
let it
We might have
pass.
to get...
Let-
yeah, we'll
yeah.
we'll as casters let
I
it
have-
pass. But
yeah,
I think
I'll
that's
talk to the admins.
technically illegal. Yeah, talk to the admins about it. Perhaps get that going. But yeah, man, I miss goats. I miss goats so much. God, I love it.
We say I actually wasn't that much around for the goats era, so I never really saw it too much in my games when I was playing then. But I hear everybody talking about it now. But I just remember everybody was just so salty about goats back then. And then as soon as it leaves, everybody's like, "Oh man, I wish we had goats."
Yeah, because
It's
I think the
amazing.
main reason for like the instant backlash of goats being removed was the fact that we got Orisa Sigma as the first meta
That's
after
very
it, right, in
true.
222. Like, come
very
on,
true.
Orisa Sigma, play something more fun.
I will say I really liked to play Orisa because it allowed me to climb from silver to gold. So I will forever be grateful for Orisa for allowing me to do that. That was when she was super busted, by the way. Like, she was absolutely insane, but nobody was playing for some reason. Probably because they didn't want to. And then eventually I was like, okay, yeah, I can see why nobody wants to play this hero.
Yeah, exactly. But now we'll end up seeing what actually happens on the Kings Row. Probably not goats, if I had to guess, unfortunately for you. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We could see just like Neo Goats. We could see Reaper Echo, Monkey Diva.
I know, like,
Marujo.
what do they call it? Neo Goats, where there's just like nobody dies for a second for like
Yeah.
50 minutes at a time.
And it's like 4 Diva bombs on the map at once. Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
I believe there is going to be a substitute actually coming in for Orthis here. They're switching out their two main supports. So
Oh, they are. Yeah.
Valkyrie or no, sorry, Black Icy is coming in to play this map
Yeah,
on the
so very
Mei.
interesting.
So looks like you know, maybe a specialist on
Hey, it's like
this
me.
Mei. Hey, look at
Leave
that.
it plat.
Maybe.
Oh no, dude! You had to make that joke, man. Oh,
Maybe.
God.
But yeah, I would
that's-
assume they're a specialist. It looks like they've been scouted
Yeah.
out pretty early, but they're not too concerned about that. And Codebreakers
Oh.
is a bit hesitant on how they want to deal with it, but it looks like they just kind of go in and look at this. I mean, Oppie gets caught out really early.
Huge freeze. Yeah, that was a massive freeze actually coming through from the Mei of Yuki. And now look at this aggression coming through. There's nothing to stop that. As Austin gets 3 kills on their hands though. I mean, sure, you're just holding left click into the enemy team, but hey ho, I mean, it's plat. You don't expect them to be able to aim usually. It's 4K actually from Austin, so props to them.
Yeah, nice wall and freeze from Yuki on the enemy team. Really did make it. Oppie had to go down pretty early. That put the rest of the team at a disadvantage. And from there, Gremlin has a lot more freedom to just kind of swing their hammer all around, like in the world, like nobody cares. And look at this. They even forced out the immortality field because of the aggression coming in.
Gremlin can use a slam as well, just round the corner, they get it through, that's a pretty big jump shatter coming through. Austin gets 2 of the kills yet again, just cleaning up on everything their team's setting them up for. And that's another team fight in the bag here for Nate's Codebreakers.
Yeah, I mean, before that first point was even captured, Codebreakers knew that they had to continue to fight onto the point in order to get past this bridge section or the arc section where, you know, a lot of defense teams like to take their first point. But, you know, Codebreakers, they recognize that. They bait out the immortality field, and from there they're able to get a good shatter off. Like, this team is working pretty well right now, despite all the misforgivings we had about them earlier on.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bates Codebreakers redeeming themselves here And they have the potential to even get an off-angle Dragon Strike here. You see the stats from Arsena, absolutely tearing things up. They're kind of hard flanking, but no one's paying attention to them. Instead, it's going to be that Blizzard that comes through from Yuki. A slam does come through in response from Asif, but they get frozen up, and they'll get dispatched pretty much immediately here. As Arsena, again, the one to just clean up on all those kills, evening up the team fight for them. And in base Codebreakers, they've got a chance. They can use the bomb here, and there's no Ryan to block that up, so it's going to catch Black Icy out. And this is the go signal for Invades Codebreakers. They'll get in there, take out the Baby Diva and the Cowboy, and this is such a good time bind going into point C.
Some great plays coming in from Codebreakers. Orthis did have an opportunity to get in there. Unfortunately, they didn't invest too many ultimates. Unfortunately, the Blizzard just catches so many of them off guard. I mean, you have the Blizzard and the Dragon Strike coming towards you. It's so hard to contest that if you're not if you're not prepared for it. And look at this, they're still pushing forward. Codebreakers.
Yeah, I mean, the card's pushing too, so they can do this.
Yeah, they're just trying to force out mistakes from Orthis here, and it's working. Like, Orthis is kind of caught out of awares here. 5 minutes on the time bank, and you're already approaching the last third point.
Yeah, there's gonna have to be like a massive play coming through from Crafty Fox and the Cowboy here. Either a massive flash and fan the hammer, which doesn't happen, or we can get a high noon coming through. A decent slam there, actually. It takes down both of the backline with one fire strike. Gremlin perhaps winning this team fight for Invades Codebreakers, but Oppie does trade it out here. Black Icy's going to get caught in the middle of this Blizzard and has to be super careful. Austin is going to dink them up if they're not quite careful, and Crafty Fox going so low, taken down, and Arsena is just tearing things up on a Hanzo. Blizzard comes through with a re-engage, so they're going to try and get back in, get some kills, but it's a brilliant wall that comes through from Yuki to deny any of that from happening. The bomb does break the May wall, so Icy not going to have that resource for the rest of this fight. They come back on the ball, spinning to win here on the point, going full on Coggers mode. Austin's going to get positioned for a Dragon Strike here, though. That'll zone so many players off here for Orthis and Invades Codebreakers. They still are controlling the tempo. Coming through here, gets the DMech, and that should potentially be it. They just need to clean up on all these stall picks, and to be fair, it's going to be hard to do without much target focus.
Spawn advantage is just coming in so clutch for Orthis right now. It's just allowing them to whittle off so much time. But yeah, I mean, the more this team fight goes on, the more I'm just sure that, you know, they're eventually going to capture this point unless something majorly wrong goes wrong. I mean, Shatter here, that should stop you right there. Oppie is going to be going down right now.
Big slam coming through. Yeah, Colos is actually getting it used here by X, so they've built up to that. In the time the stall fight has been going, it's been at least a minute and a half. And also is still trying to just carry their team through this. Gets the dink onto Crafty on the Tracer. Flopland coming through to clean the ball off of the point, and it's just a lonesome Lucio. There's no chance you'll lose this here from base Codebreakers. Alpacalypse did fall, and Moira's actually back onto the point, so somehow continues stalling this out. It just keeps on going and going. Oppie's going to use the bomb as well. That's going to force resources out here, and Ilan is just so low on HP. Osna gets Crafty again, but that Blizzard comes through. Grimmelin's going to get taken out here, and somehow, potentially, Orthis coming back into this. They're going to try and re-engage with the Blizzard, and I think that'll be it. I think they managed to get the cleanup through, but it was so close. Plus one gets eaten up there as well. Brilliant stuff.
Oh, come on. You just have one player left. Okay.
Yeah. What was that, like 2 minutes-ish?
That was 2 minutes off the clock right there. That was, or even, yeah, 2 minutes. Well, it's like 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Oh gosh, that went on for forever. I was afraid, like when the Reinhardt went down, I was afraid that they were actually gonna lose that fight, but no, thankfully they managed to catch it. I was about to say, the point I was about to make before that insane team fight happened was, like I was looking at the players and I was just thinking to myself, like, are we watching the same two teams we watched last map? Like how did they go from Orthis so one-sidedly winning that first map to then just getting destroyed on King's Row? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I legitimately had to check to make sure, like, the team names and the players were, like, under the right ones. But yeah, no, these are the same two teams. There's no mistake here. And
it's interesting.
I find it really interesting that I'm not even gonna say that it's like the sub. Maybe you can make an argument that it was the sub, but it really isn't. Like, subbing in one player shouldn't mean that your team instantly changes everything about it. I just think Codebreakers had a really strong idea of how they wanted to attack on this map, and Oppie, I mean, not Oppie, I'm sorry, but Orthis and just made some weird decisions. or they just didn't know how to handle the aggression that was coming in from Codebreakers.
Yep, and it's going to be a far actually here from Author, so this is perhaps a set play strategy where you're going to go for like a set pile drive and try and get your Tracer and your Pharah just piling on the backline. Could be a good play, to be fair, as everyone's kind of scattered right now for Invades Codebreakers. It's going to back up around Hotel. Bunch of free space coming through here for Orthus, and as soon as they get us engaged through, it could be massive.
Yeah, I mean, Codebreakers backs up. Oh my gosh, their VAP is so low. They don't manage to get a kill onto them.
So much damage coming through from Black Icy here. This is probably why they subbed them in, to be fair, as that is a 2-man roll through from Asif. That is gigantic, and that's, again, an immediate first point cap. It seems like both of these teams are very much attacking teams.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, Codebreakers, they, you know, first thing, priority is that you need to try to get the Pharah out of the sky. Putting pressure on the Pharah will then allow you to deal with the other, you know, threats that are coming into you, like the Wrecking Ball and Crafty on the Tracer here. But yeah, I mean, they already have control of this archway here. Oh, Crafty does go down. That's a good start.
Yeah, Asuna making a huge difference on the Cowboy here. Black Ice is going to back up because they do not have the barrage online yet. They can't go too aggressive until they have that up, and it looks like they're going to go around the outside and try to construct something with that, but going to get contested just a little bit by Ilan. It's all slow-paced until Asif can actually get in there, but they're on such low HP, it's not going to happen. Now Prophecy has this you know, Amplification Matrix online if they really want to use it. Crafty's into the back, going to pulse bomb up. Doesn't catch anything though, doesn't stick on anyone. The Amplification Matrix comes through right as Prophecy dies, and Black Icy can go hyper aggro now if they really want to get this barrage through, but it's just not going to happen. I mean, you've already got that kill, there's nothing else you really need, as well as Gremlin falling.
Oh, now they're gonna get staggered out here. They're trying to back up onto the cart, and this is a mistake that a lot of teams make. Actually, when you're losing a team fight, it's actually okay. Well, Asif does go down here, but they are gonna be able to recontest here. I was about to say, like, if you're losing a team fight, it's actually a lot more better of an idea to rather than retreating, to try to just die on cart if you think you're gonna lose this team fight. But they do actually manage to retreat and not lose too many members to stagger them out, and they are gonna be able to recontest right here.
Yeah, and they're going to get point control as well. There's no one really directing their attention towards that now as a power drive does come through. This could be where Black Icy goes in. They let loose the barrage. They take down Arsenis. That's a key player out of the fight. The bomb as well is going to be invested here by Oppie to, you know, mitigate some of that beat health coming through from Invades Codebreakers. And this backline Tracer is so annoying to deal with. I mean, you can see them trying to contest Crafty, just not taking any damage though. Power drive comes through and Asif just tearing things up there. Takes down Alpacalypse as well as Yuki. And that should be a second point cap coming through with, again, a massive time bank, 5 minutes.
Yeah, and you see how desperate they are to try to deal with all these threats because Yuki and Asuna are both on the Cowboys. You know, both of them are just trying desperately to stave off the Tracer so that they can pay attention to the Pharah, and then the Wrecking Ball comes in to disrupt those plans. It's a lot, but look at this massive shatter coming in from Gremlin here. He does manage to get Valkyrie, but not much other follow-up because Wrecking Ball was contesting, you know, their backline at the same time, and the res comes in.
That is gigantic, and yeah, I mean, Valkyrie's back in the fight, has that beat available if they really want to use it. He's got to play hyper aggro here if you're Orthus. I mean, Asif can just play super aggro into the back, get a power drive through, and use those mines if they really want to. An aggressive beat, actually, to try and get yourselves in there is probably the best way to do this. Gremlin's on such low HP, forced into the Mega Room, actually gets a pin off onto Asif and gets away with it. A brilliant immortality field coming through from Prophecy, as now Asuna on the back angle trying to connect the enemy Diva, going to get pooped into the mines. Are they going to survive? No, they're not. Oh, the CC is just a little bit too much there. Orthus are just going to keep on rolling this one forward, quite literally, actually, as Asif is on that Wrecking Ball. And can anyone even recontest here? Invades Codebreakers, they're going to try. The Diva's trying to get in there.
Yeah,
there's no group coming through, so they're going to be able to get that touch through, and Black Icy will trade it out with that barrage, but I don't know how much it's going to get here. That bomb should be able to zone everyone off, actually. A huge bomb coming through from Ilan. That turns things around in an instant.
Yeah, Codebreakers were feeling the heat right there. They invested a little bit of ultimates. Thankfully, they didn't use all of it. They still have both support ultimates, and Gremlin managed to get another shatter in that. I was kind of wondering why Yuki was holding on to that bomb for Bob for so long. They had it for pretty much all of that third point, but they just never saw the opportunity to use it, I guess. But now look at this. Orthis is already in position to contest once again. That's just how fast their composition moves sometimes. They do stay off the window by staying in this isolated room right here. And now they're just kind of poking, and Yuki once again goes down.
That's an insane starting pick coming through, and that bomb as well. It puts Gremlin under so much pressure. They're on 100 HP and counting downwards. As Crafty Fox gets in there with the one clip in the melee. And even though Orthis have a little bit less of a time bank, as long as they clean up quickly here, they'll complete the map with just 7 seconds less. So, lucky number there.
Yeah. This is actually really interesting because both of these teams have had really good attacks so far, playing completely different styles, but Orthis has the advantage here. They have the composition that is showing really good signs against this rush. So now it's up to Codebreakers to once again try to make a switch to counter what Orthis is throwing at them. That is the beauty of Overwatch, is just being able to make these changes mid-match or mid-map, just trying to figure out, okay, well, these guys are now running Wrecking Balls, poke compositions. What can we do now? And it looks like they might be hovering towards double shield here on defense.
I think that's a decent way to deal with this. If you get Arsenal on this Ashe and maybe put Yuki on the Echo as they were before, I mean, it didn't work too well for them on Sanctum, but it could work here because you're going to be playing the high grounds. You have double hit scan to deal with Black Icy. It's really just centered around keeping your backline alive and dealing with a Pharah.
Yeah, I mean, the having Asuna on the Ashe here might be better. Obviously, Yuki might have had to switch over to Ashe when they were on defense just because they wanted another hit scan. Maybe they weren't too comfortable on the Ashe, but now Yuki is on the 76. This looks like a hit scan pick that they're a little more comfortable with and feel a little better about running. And Orthis is going to be running the same composition here because, I mean, if it ain't broke, why try to fix it?
Yeah, and well, that's an immediate, just a bunch of damage coming through there into Black Ice. He has to back up just temporarily and keep themselves up. And Orthis, they've got to construct a dive somehow. But that's the question, right? It's the question of how are they going to do this, especially into so much CC. I mean, you got the pole, you got the rock, like there's so much to stop you diving in. And Black Icy, as soon as they peek out, just getting bursted down so quickly. That's the life of a Pharah into a double hit scan, I suppose.
Yeah, they have to back up. Black Icy has to back up because they're actually under a lot of pressure here. So that, I mean, obviously now Codebreakers have a composition where they're able to put Pharah in a lot of under a lot of pressure here, so which is a good start. Illan goes down, however, that's just not good because that means your Orisa is gonna get burned down.
Yeah, the firing lines are brilliant there from Black Icy. It forces everyone back into streets where Alsif and Crafty Fox can just go in there and do their thing, right? We were talking about this last series as well, where it's the Ball Tracer that just get in the back and wreak havoc.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, despite the pressure that Black Icy was under, they still managed to build a barrage, still putting in damage from that lasting team fight on first point. So now they're going to be able to, looks like Codebreakers is going to be able to contest. They don't have their full 6-man on back yet. Some of them got long spawned, so they're going to be fighting this at a disadvantage here, especially if Orthis wants to go in on this, which it looks like they do.
That's a great roll through, actually. It forces everyone a little bit back here for Invade Codebreakers. Their spells won't get too much value for them. Instead, they use the Amp Matrix to try and round that corner and force everyone back for Orthis, but they're just playing on an off angle. I mean, Black Icy's dealing so much damage here, no one can round that corner for Invades, and as this time ticks down slowly, it's going to come down to this fight, but Illan's already fallen, and Black Icy's just going to sit here on a long sight line, throwing the rockets in.
Yeah, barrage, good and ready. The beats, they can engage with this. Maybe disable some of those tank ultimates that are on the way from Codebreakers. The Bob is going to come out first, try to contest point. Not too much. The boop booped him away. Another boop booped him away. All the boops.
Yeah, so much CC coming through here for Orthis as they're trying to get this point through. That barrage actually going to come through from Black Icy, takes out the Mercy, so that is gone, and you can't really keep Osuna or Yuki alive in this situation. Illan's going to go quite low, and Prophecy falls. Backline's entirely out of the fight, but is Yuki going to clutch it up on the Cowboy here? They're dealing a lot of damage, but they're just not getting the kills necessary, and everyone's forced back there from base Codebreakers. 2 points gained here for Orthis, and they're going to look for a third as well once their players get back.
Yeah, Valkyrie doing wonders for actually no, not Valkyrie, but just the healing from Mercy, obviously keeping them through that team fight. And now, I mean, they have even more ultimates to work with here, Belk and Bomb and Mines, while Codebreakers don't have that much. They have double support ultimates, but what else really? Or double DPS ultimates as well. Cowboy ults coming in. Stats from Wrecking Ball, you can see just how much of an impact they're having.
Yeah, the damage done is so insane. I mean, they keep going for these just wicked roll-throughs, and the power drives as well. The line of sight, the amplification matrix, but it's slowly just pushing its way in. Someone's going to have to touch here for Invade, so they're going to get booped off. They finally touch with that Bob coming through from Arsena, and this Valkyrie is enough to try and keep people on the car and sustain. Crafty Fox will fall here. Could the Bob be the hero? A boop off onto Asif there. That is huge, actually. That was, I think, an accretion from Ilan. I'm not entirely sure. High noon as well from Yuki on the Cowboy, going to take down the Fire Mercy duo single-handedly. And, well, Asif desperately trying to get back onto the point, but it just didn't happen in time.
They had the person advantage too. They just... Oh, no, actually, no. Sorry, I thought they capped. So they will not end up capping. That was a... like, Asif just trying to hang on for dear life under the ruins of this underground... layer in King's Row. It's a bit unfortunate.
I think the lore of King's Row is that when you get it to the end, it kills all the Omnics in the city below. Because it's a power generator that makes a power surge.
Well, why'd you have to ruin the game for me, man? Now I feel bad about taking it all the way. I don't want to kill Omnics.
Well, clearly these teams don't care about taking it all the way. I mean, look at that, Orthus.
Listen,
setting a very good attack there.
All right. Well, despite the ethical concerns of bringing it all the way to the end, point is they weren't able to. But still, a very good push through the overtime for Orthus here. And now Codebreakers, they're going to be under pressure to nice painting there. They're going to be under pressure to try to put up a similar attack and then also finish third point. And are they going to be able to do it with this double shield composition? Oh, actually, Orthus is on the double shield, while Codebreakers are going to be on Rush with Mei Hanzo.
Yeah, so they're relying on exactly what they did before. Arsena is Hanzo, right? If you can break these shields, you can get your way in there. You can get those fire lines that Arsena and Yuki won, as they'll get pulled back a little bit. And this is the thing, you've got to rotate quickly in a spam composition. But, Black Ice.
The res is there.
He forced the res out, but that's an opportunity for them to go in now. Arsena can just stay on this long firing line and put in the damage. Asif is going to get taken down because they were walled off from their support. And yeah, this is already looking good for Invade. They just got to stay consistent and keep this on the point. Wait, Valkyrie? Okay, we're not going to question that, I guess, as Actitech is gained here for Invade's Codebreakers. And they're probably going to get a lot more here, as no one is able to come in as a unit for Orthus.
Yeah, I guess when Asif goes down, Valkyrie just decides they want to take matters into their own hands, which... I mean, can't blame him. You're basically a DPS, but yeah, probably running at a Hanzo at full speed isn't the best idea in the world. And now look at this. They're trying to stagger out Asif here. They're so close. They get it. They're going to try to stagger out Valkyrie too. This is exactly what you want to see from Codebreakers. This is exactly what they did on their last attack round that led them to getting such a great time on their first point. And now they're doing it once again. They already have the team cornered to the end of the second point.
Yup, and that is... I mean, that was like a 30 meters gained on the cart just from killing off Asif, who is now on the Reinhardt. I mean, you're not going to have the Shatter, Gremlin will. I mean, it's looking so hard to get back in here if you're Orthus. They're trying to play high for aggro, though. Gremlin's under a lot of pressure, and that window is actually going to deal a lot of damage. Bomb into the back, though. It forces Asif to turn their heads around, and that allows the slam to come through. 4 just laid it down to the ground. They're dropping like flies right now. And Invade's Codebreakers, I mean, yeah, that's just another team fight under their belt. Both of these teams are putting up just amazing showings on their attack rounds.
Asif made such a crucial mistake there by trying to position himself to get to be able to shield his team from the bomb, but that just allows Gremlin to go in and get the easiest shatter they've ever seen in their life. And now second point will be captured here. And now Codebreakers, they need to cap this third point in order to win this map. They are so close to doing it. They looked so outmatched in this matchup on the first map here. Would have never imagined that this map would turn out like this.
Yeah, it is going completely down to the wire here. The Dragon Strike will come through to force everyone off the car on Orthus. And actually, Asim's out of position on the left side. Gets taken down by Ilan there. Prophecy just gonna be able to keep Gremlin alive now and just push him in. And there's nothing anyone can do on Orthus. There's a bomb coming through, but it just breaks the immortality field, and that's it. That was
Blizzard.
That was a year and a half from the Blizzard. Yeah, that is massive. And not able to Matrix it in time either, because Opry was remacking. And now it's by getting it to the end here. There's a high noon that comes through there from Crafty Fox.
Catches Prophecy.
So that's a little bit of a start, but Alpacalypse will just come through with the beat drop. Keeps everyone up and healthy. And yeah, that is about it here. Orthus, they're slowly dropping ever so slightly. And it's just the Moira. It's just the Moira left now. X is going to get slowly taken out. Bomb will force everyone off.
Wow.
Oh my lord. Invades Codebreakers. They come back with a vengeance into map 2. And we're going to have a very close series on our hands. It's safe to say here, Diggy.
We have a series. We have a series on our hands. If you had told me that, like, if you had told me Codebreakers were going to get a map win after that first map, I honestly wouldn't have believed you. I thought this was going to be a clear team diff kind of match going on here, but clearly Codebreakers have a lot more fight in them than we thought they did.
Yeah, absolutely. Codebreakers, they're not going down without a fight. That was just an excellent showing from them. I mean, sure, they struggled a little bit on their defenses. I think both of these teams did. They definitely love playing, really aggro, really fast. And this is something we've seen from a lot of teams, at least so far in this tournament, is that a lot of the teams just love to play fast, love to just int in there and run it down.
Yeah, and we want to give a quick showcase to the Baptiste on Codebreakers Prophecy here. Look at his stats here. Lot of healing done for his team. Definitely, they were in their stride going into a Baptiste censored composition with Gremlin on the Reinhardt. Like I said, so different from how they were playing Rush on the first map. It's just they just looked so uncoordinated. They didn't have this fire in them on that first map. Like I feel like that first map happened, and then all of a sudden something clicked, and they all just turned on some kind of mode in their head that just allows them to go all in on this Rush composition. But yeah, I love to see it, definitely.
Yeah, they were definitely playing, I think, as well, just a little bit too timid on the pole, right? I mean, they were constantly letting themselves be ran into by the enemy team, and that's not exactly what you want in this situation. So, Orthus, they are now the ones that have to answer to Invade's Codebreaker, because obviously with a Baptiste like that, I mean... Oh, sorry, I dropped my bottle. With a Baptiste like that, it is going to be very difficult to break through now, because that is just solid backline play. Granted, that massive stat there of the healing is because of the long-winded nature of that map, but it's still impressive nonetheless.
Did you drop your stick there? Do you have it?
No, I didn't drop my
back?
stick. No, it's still in my hand. Look, well, you obviously the stream can't see, but
I can see. Don't worry, I can see. I can see clearly. But yeah, so that is we're gonna be taking a short little break here before the third map. I believe we're going on to Escort after this, but we gotta take a winder after that insane map too, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see you all in a bit.
When I'm awake, I'm all blind. You and your magic, like infinite power. God knows I try to resist, but you're pulling me closer. Oh, I gotta stay away, but you won't let me. No one makes me feel like you do, and no one sets my body on fire, and no one gives me shivers like you. Oh, no one does it
They did find Cucumber, but he's gonna lift him.
Oh, Wolfgang gets caught right into that, and Speed is gonna be
Oh,
able to follow
no.
up. Talk
You
about
let
jumping
him
over to the Doofus, talking about playing into the Doofus.
A manos de la bola. Ya son 3 las picks que conseguía el equipo de British Hurricane.
We need your help to decide our opinion outpost MVP of the match.
It's got a minute to kind of work some sort of pick against this Doc, and oh my good lord, they just got eviscerated.
Oh! He's not dead! Hey, now he's dead!
Holy cow, I've never seen someone get so aggressive.
Oh, catches their opponent outside of the building, and that is it!
It's Rocket League Wednesday on the High School Esports League home room. I am, as the kids say, vibing right now.
This is just fumes for them, while Pharaoh rips shot after shot after shot of the back of them. Good wall towards site, but it's already been broken, so they can't even get that spike down trustedly. Camera over towards site, and again, it's getting all that information. Epoch going absolutely massive!
Here in this map number 4 season, up on championship point, being up 2-1. Nifty dropped down to 19 HP. Joker with his M13 in hand is just trying to hold the angles.
Healing that's coming up from them, and then the Ana goes down after that, and it was just quick cleanup. Resignations and Witty really clutching out in the DPS department for SM, and they've got first capture crossing 15%. Ultimate's coming up online already. You're gonna have Deadeye, and look, we've got Grab Dragons available for that test.
Oh, and they're gonna waste no time in committing it. The Graviton comes out. It was there, but it's not gonna get any.
Oh, excited. Thank you so much, Sidebjorn. Living up to the beautiful strats from Roar Esports. They're gonna go ahead and teleport directly onto the point, so they will be meeting them tantamount.
Nothing to try and eat it with, nothing to stave it off, no support ultimates. They've got a shatter. It might just have to be put in to keep the Bastion ult, but they don't care about this Bastion ult. They've got a Batiste!
Oh man, this is just nutty right now.
This is not something that you want to push in on, but it's going to be the bomb and the charge. It's a major picks of 3. All of the 3 that you want. The Reinhardt, both of the supports, and this is the fight done already. Frost
Here it comes.
It does pull out the Transcendence, but the anti-mid gets...
Here comes back on the Doofus, not hacked up by the EMP critically. Starjummer has the Deadeye, no hack this time around. Starjummer gonna clean up the fight, get 3, get the electric cowboy for dancing effect.
This might be the best map for that in all of Overwatch, as we see the hook shot and
Bane with the silk thread shot, show it off.
Is he gonna work well against the Ghost Confer? Is fine to or you're not gonna get through this.
I love watching teams that I haven't seen play before play. It's always thrilling.
Round 1.
It really is. It's wild cards. You know, it's something you don't get to see at the higher levels. You know, everybody's at least been seen usually at lower level matches. So this is always a fun experience.
And we are back, everybody. Welcome back to the series between Orthus and Invade's Codebreakers. This has been a little bit of a banger so far, Diggy. I mean, it's been 1 chaos and 2 a banger, like I said.
Yeah, I've never before been in a situation where I'm pretty much completely not interested in the series, and then after one map, I am very interested in the series. That map 2 was super close. Codebreakers, they had such a poor performance on the first map and then just brought it back in full force for the second map. But thinking about it now, the fact that the series itself was so close means that we still have an opportunity for Orthus to come in here and, make some more statement wins, maybe try to prove that they're the better team. But Codebreakers, they are making them work for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Codebreakers, they came back with vengeance in that last map, like I said. I mean, they had something to prove coming into it, and they proved it, right? They proved that they can actually match up to Orthus in a pretty good way. Even if it was scrappy, even if it wasn't the most clean thing ever, it was still a very good showing from them. And next map we're going on to will end up being Rialto, which is a map where Orthus, they were playing the Pharah comps, and they can play them straight again here.
Yeah, Rialto is interesting because it actually does heavily favor both Rush and Pharah compositions with a little bit of sprinkle and a double shield. We saw at the at the end of the last map, a double shield being thrown in there as well from Orthis in an attempt to kind of mitigate the rush aggressiveness. Didn't work out for them in the end, but it was a good strategy, and it wasn't something that didn't entirely not work out for them. So it will be interesting to see what these teams run out with on this map.
Yeah, absolutely. And a fun fact for you as well, both of these teams' favorite escort map is actually Rialto. So we're on a kind of comfort map for both of these teams, and that kind of makes me think we're going to see either some set play strategies, or it's just going to be a very, very close showing like before. And I mean, Kings Row was, I believe, both of these teams' favorites as well, which it was close.
Hold on,
So,
let's take a break here. Hold on. Orthis' favorite assault map is Anubis?
yeah? What's wrong with that? Is there a problem with that?
I just can't. It's
a good map. What do you mean? It's great.
That is a terrible, terrible take. I'll say that much. I don't want to get into it, but I hate that map with a passion. But well, maybe we'll see it if we come to that on Assault. It would be then we can talk about our opinions there. But yeah, I have bad memories from that map. I'll say that much.
Yeah, honestly, I don't blame you. It's not the greatest of maps, but it is my favorite map. So we'll cross that bridge for now. I'm talking about crossing bridges. Orthis doing just that right here. On Rialto, they'll be playing another Ball Diva Hyperdive composition. See, typically, I want to make the kind of difference here, right? Normally, you see Hyperdive with an Echo. We're seeing it with Afara here.
Yeah, that is definitely very interesting because with the Echo, you have a lot more survivability. You have a lot more, not mobility, but like different ways to kind of go around here. Far is very straightforward. So it's interesting to see that they're bringing it out here, but they're also playing a more standard version of Dive where they have the Ana instead of like the Lucio Moira. So, so in terms of this, it feels to me like they're playing Dive with an emphasis on poking your enemy with the Pharah and the 76, and then diving on them to try to get those kills with the Winston Diva.
Yeah, it's all about keeping that Winston Diva alive, or the Honor. In this case, as Crafty Fox just goes into the backline and gets a cheeky kill. Has to try and get out alive, but that's easy work considering they're already out. And yeah, brilliant first team fight then.
I mean, it wasn't even a team fight.
It wasn't even a team fight, yeah.
One kill, and then the enemy just retreats back into spawn. Makes total sense in the lore, I would assume, I guess, but
anything
yeah.
can be a team fight if you want it to be.
Yeah, I mean, it was a team fight win. It's just, it's laughable to call it a team fight. But yeah, they're all going to get a second chance here. Hopefully Prophecy doesn't get caught out, but it looks like he's being scouted out by Azov here. And oh my god, he goes so low trying to get that kill.
Yeah, they were trying to get a boot off, but instead, that is a lovely direct coming through. That is nasty. Like I see, enacting a Pharah diff right there, and again, that's another first pick that comes through and invades Codebreakers. They're just kind of on the back foot. Gremlin's going to get taken down. And this is the invades Codebreakers we didn't want to see coming into this map.
Yeah, I mean, they're not playing the rush. They're playing something really weird and something that's obviously, like, a lot of pressure is being put onto Prophecy right now. I mean, look at this. He only has 87% on his Nano here. Probably should have had that a long time ago, but he's under such pressure and the team fights are ending without much contest. But yeah, Black Icy goes down here. I don't think it's going to be able to get rezzed here because it's in a tough position. Crafty on the flank, though.
Yeah, Crafty's getting Crafty on the flank here, looking for maybe a pulse bomb to someone.
He's looking for Prophecy.
Pressure out the Honor, but realizes the Diva is there, I think. It's because the Diva was there, so a good call there to not use the pulse bomb and in fact just wait for your Pharah to get back, which is exactly what they're doing. Pharah's going to be returning pretty shortly. They're giving up a little bit of cart space here, but I think that's okay, given that now Crafty goes for the pulse bomb into the back, forces the Honor off a high ground. That is a very vulnerable player now that can potentially be dove onto by Asif, and they're going into the back trying to make something work. It'll be Black Icy's Barrage, I think, that just wins this team fight potentially. As long as they don't get bursted down, but they're already on such low HP, and they get taken down by the right click. Oh my lord, Asif's going to try and go into the back here and put pressure onto that Honor. Not going to happen though, as that site will get used like you said, and Asif Nanovisor, no chance of spamming against that.
Yeah, Asif's having a little bit of trouble here trying to do work here on the Wrecking Ball. The tech is really hard to do a lot of the time, so I mean, it makes sense that you have trouble at least a little bit at a time. He's not a monster like he has been all series, but yeah, great first point from Codebreakers. Once they managed to get out of spawn, they had a lot more freedom, and they were able to help out Prophecy a lot more, dealing with those those dives onto him, or onto them, I should say. And we will be seeing Orthus once again try to. It looks like they're really scattered right now. They're not. They're punching up on this staircase right now. Okay. But Yuki is kind of reading
this is really aggressive positioning actually from Yuki. They were trying to go all the way through and take that Pharah duel, but it didn't quite actually happen. Instead, they were just scaring them off as both Pharahs have the barrage here, and it's a game of towing the line. Who's going to use it first? As Yuki lands a direct. Again, just a huge play coming through there. Cleaned up by Prophecy, and now that bomb ends up coming through. Doesn't zone anyone off the point. Sorry, it does zone people off the point, but doesn't get any kills. And that is a lovely concussive blast onto the res. Egoist unable to res up their own Pharah, and now Black Icy has to return from spawn, but Crafty's already taken down. Primal Rage to make sure no one can assist in this fight, and Arsene is just doing all the work, dumping in the damage. Black Icy is going to go around on the side and might even use the barrage, but they're on such low HP. It's not going to happen. And yeah, Invades Codebreakers. This is the Invades Codebreakers we want to see now.
Orthus's team comp kind of revolves around them having multiple off angles and being able to set up plays through different angles and stuff like that. They don't have a defined core of the team like Codebreakers does with the Winston and the D.Va. And so they're not able to be they're not in a position on that second point to try to contest them straight up. They're all bunched up on staircase, so they don't have those off angles. And so they're just burned down kind of easily by the focus fire from Codebreakers here. But Gremlin goes down right here, gonna give them an opportunity to advance a little more sure of themselves.
Yeah, it's really difficult because Yuki is still dumping in the damage. I mean, forcing Egoist back on the Baptiste there, stopping them from really walking forward with the rest of their team. Asif is now going to go aggressive with the mines, actually. I'm assuming that is because they're planning a swap later on, maybe, onto Ryan. I assume they're just using the rifle because of that, but they are going to go for a power drive here, actually, around the corner. No, they're not, okay. Instead, it's going to be a bomb? It's a remake, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's for the remake. Mercy is so low right there, manages to get out. And now the dive is going to come in. Nano onto the Pharah. Is she going to, or are they going to be able to find anything with the barrage? We don't know yet because that hasn't happened.
They haven't used it. Yeah, they're not using the barrage just quite yet, and they're going down quite low, but Asif gets taken down. Again, another situation where you just can't deal with a poke from the soldier. Black Icy also going down so low, unable to be kept alive, because where's the Mercy Pocket? It's not there, clearly. They get taken out there. Yuki will get traded, but Alpacalypse, if they get space made for them, can potentially res that one up, but no, Amatrix prevents that from happening, and we're in a little bit of a lull now.
It's so interesting. They have all these ultimates, but they're not using them because they don't need to. But at the same time, they're just kind of pushing Cart a little bit forward. They have... Okay, well, Gremlin goes down there. I was about to say they have a lot of sustainability here, but obviously not right now. Visor out from Crafty, but he's kind of in they're kind of in no man's land.
Yeah, most of those flanks have been Crafty, but not quite that one. That was just dumb, if I'm being completely blunt here. Now this one's going to be a very good flank coming through, taking out of Baptiste.
Okay.
The Amplification Matrix does... not Amplification Matrix, Barrage, sorry, entirely different ultimate. Do come through from both Pharahs, in fact. But it does seem to be Yuki getting the better of this Pharah duel at the moment. It's just a D.Va on the point that they have to try and kill off as Invades Codebreakers. They just need to at least not let the stall get them down to OT, right? And that's hard against a Soldier Pharah, as Crafty Fox will try and return here alongside Asif. And I mean, there is point control here for Asif, but they get antied up and taken down, so that looks to be it here. Invades Codebreakers just need to get the final kills.
Yeah, they will eventually be able to cap this up. D.Va might stall things out just a little bit here. Yuki putting up some insane numbers on the Pharah. I don't believe they were playing the Pharah until just this map. They were on other heroes, but yeah, they're putting in some work on that Pharah. Definitely giving Black Icy a run for their money. I think Black Icy definitely has had some crazy Pharah directs this map. I will say that. But Yuki definitely not slouching on that Pharah. There's a good Pharah matchup going on right here. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is a good Pharah matchup between Black Icy and Yuki. And we were talking last map about how Black Icy might have been playing the Pharah as kind of like a comfort pick, but right now it just seems like they're getting kind of diffed, if I'm going to be blunt.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, they were playing Pharah mainly on after they made the swap off of the Rush May. So Black Icy, oh well, once again, actually coming out on defense with the like I said, the May Rush with the Reinhardt. So I feel like Black Icy is more of that traditional, obviously flex player where they play the projectiles like Pharah, Genji, May, stuff like that. But yeah, like you said, Yuki definitely took them a little bit to town on this Pharah. So now it looks like they want to swap off it. They're seeing that Codebreakers wants to run more of this. Oh no, I'm sorry. They're seeing that Orthis wants to run more of this weird kind of wrecking ball setups that they have going on. So they want to kind of rush them with Rush.
That's kind of backfired, though, because now you've got the Cowboy, which can just flash up a Sombra and kill them in an instant, right? I mean, you can't swap off now. Invaders Codebreaker's already made the decision, but it's going to be very hard to get in here. And they know. Orthus knows they're up there. They get the flash through, but nothing gained from that. Instead, Asura's going to be hacked up. The Reinhardt can't shield off their team, leaves them completely vulnerable. Look at that split off onto the Mei and the Lucio as well. Asuna falls, but I don't think that's going to matter here. Invaders got the damage, but it's so scattered. I mean, Yuki's all the way in back, and Crafty gets the high ground control here, gonna rain in shots for the Peacekeeper.
Not for long.
Over, not killed though, not killed, so that's good. And now Orthus should be able to just roll this one forward, because, I mean, look at these stagger picks that they can potentially get if they just press up.
The fact that Crafty got onto that position in the first place is kind of amazing, because the route you had to take is right through the enemy team and then up the stairs. Great pick onto Alpaca. Right, I mean, that's just... That basically means you're probably not going to be able to contest this third point. Or, actually, maybe you are. Maybe you sacrifice the Reinhardt charge in order to get in there.
Looks like that's just what they're going to do. They're going to try and rush in there with the Reinhardt, but not for long enough, clearly. That's a little bit of a Charlie 9er there. Spam it in chat if you want that. But, yeah, teammate comes through onto Oki there, so... it's not going too well for Orthus here, but considering the positioning of Maze Codebreakers, I think it's pretty much even.
Orthus now have such a significant advantage now. They have so many ultimates of theirs build up because they haven't had to use any, really. They're just doing a great job of getting picks, being able to have Codebreakers on the defensive here. Codebreakers are going to be able to have this really nice hold onto Staircase here. It looks like they're going to drop down behind them and try to catch them by surprise, but the Shatter!
Oh, that is huge coming through, and it will end up taking out Austin before that beat can even come through to keep him up. Immortality Field also invested alongside that beat, so Crafty Fox can just sit here raining down bullets on the Cowboy, and it's on 30 HP. Just breathe on them and they die, but no, that doesn't happen. Instead, Orthus can just press this advantage forward now, and Crafty once again going to take this just high ground off-angle position they've been taking the entire time, and I mean, Illin's going to go up on the top and maybe try and contest him, but it ends up having to re-mech it with the Diva Bomb. This High Noon could be used here if Crafty Fox wants to get a little bit crafty. I've made that fun a million times, but they get taken down by Austin instead. Bomb will end up coming through here, and that's actually going to force that Immortality Field to be used. Crofty gets taken down a bit out of position there, and again, Orthus, they just seem to keep on having this advantage.
Crafty Girl really showing their wits here, but Orthus is going to climb back here. Not too much pressure on them. Yuki did manage to get the, or Asuna did manage to get the kill, but not gonna matter too much. And now Orthus leading here with just some great ultimates coming up here. You got Blizzard, which is almost a game-winning ultimate in it, or like a team fight winning ultimate in itself here. They could manage to try to counter it with the Dragon Strike, however. Shatter attempted here. Not much is gonna be found out here.
It was a clean block from Asif, I'll give them that. That was so good, and somehow Dramillion is kept alive there against so many headshots from Crafty Fox. It looks like they want to rotate up and maybe go for a little bit of a High Noon play, but Yuki's already in the backline, just menacingly Death Blossoming. 3 players down, and Orthus are sent back to that spawn room. Finally, Invaders have stabilized. They've got 3 minutes to go before it's even evened up in the timeline.
Yeah, and a great place to win that team fight too, just under the bridge, which means that not a lot of progress is made, and now you're kind of in an uncomfortable spot to try to attack from. You got a lot of high ground angles from Asuna, and if he's performs on this Hanzo like they have been this entire series, that's some scary stuff going on here.
Yeah, absolutely, and Again, Invader just playing so aggressive with their positioning. I mean, look at this. Illan is right up in their faces alongside Gramillion, who, I mean, okay, is close to that shatter, so they could maybe land it in this team fight, but will it even be necessary? I mean, Oppie's already gone down, and so is Egoist, so Orthus just can't get in.
They pop the window, and then they have to back up from the window because they're under so much pressure. It's just, yeah, Asuna is just putting in so much work, and then obviously you got... Codebreakers don't even have to invest anything besides the dragons there. The dragons did not manage to catch out anything. Oh, the shatter gets interrupted.
Yeah, that is unfortunate to say the least, but Black Icy does end up getting taken down anyway, and this is just what keeps happening. There's just too much spam coming through, too much damage from Yuki and Arsena and the DPS duo.
Yeah, I mean, they just the off angles from this Hanzo are too much. They got the Blizzard again. All right, they can manage to make some room. Crafty has to commit the Deadeye to just get them off of this main angle here, but now they got to contest with all the off angles.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult to do here, but Black Icy's getting in. Him might want to use that Blizzard. That's unfortunate. That's gonna split everyone off. Oppie's gonna get taken down out of that mech. Gramillion does get taken out here though, and as well as Yuki, so it's actually turning around in the favor of Orthus here. Black Icy walks backwards into the Dragon Strike.
Not sure that's enough.
Oh, that is so unfortunate, but thankfully I think it's okay here for Orthus.
Yes.
Crafty Fox just bails him out of that situation entirely. 3 kills in a row.
Alright, coming back a little bit alive. The hit scans are really putting in work for their team, getting those kills, getting those final blows, and now we have a situation where Orthus has a lot of ultimates to work with. They still have the Blizzard, and they also have the Beat and the Window to deal with different situations here. Gremlin coming in, he might have this, or they might have this Shatter here. The Blizzard gets eaten!
That is a huge eat coming through, and they layered the Immortality field as well with that beat, so they can just go straight in there with a Death Blossom. That's 3 killed off there. Oh my lord, Yuki, that is good recognition that the fact they didn't have Immortality, and that was Egoist's fault for layering it with a beat.
Yeah, Window, he's even committed just to kill off Black Icy, stagger them out a little bit more. The downside of that, obviously, is that you don't have a window now for this fight, which you might have, definitely would have put you at an advantage here. But hey, you know what? It's style points. I can forgive it.
Definitely can, and Asic's trying to get in here, and maybe in the shatter. Takes on the enemy Reinhardt. It's just a free slam into the front line. A bit of an overextension from Invading's Codebreakers. They have blundered massively coming into this, and can they even recontest? I mean, sure, they take down Asif. So. It's going to have to be the Reaper getting onto a point, but Yuki gets flashed up before they can even touch. No. Arsena manages to get on in time, but it's only about a second taken off the clock. Another close map we're looking at here, Biggie.
Yeah, I mean, almost the exact same time banks once again. Same exact thing happened on King's Row, where they both finished with similar times. And now, well, in that second map, Codebreakers came out with the stronger attack on King's Row. They managed to finish the map. Not sure if that's going to be the case this time around. I mean, Codebreakers were definitely struggling with Crafty's McCree there for a little bit, but Asuna definitely pushing back on that Hanzo. I mean, like I said, this is the battle of the hit scans right now. The Hanzo versus the cowboy, the samurai versus the Western gun-toting gun guy.
Gun guy, yeah, we'll call him gun guy from now on.
Because I already used cowboy, so I wanted to do something. It makes sense.
It makes sense. Okay, gun guy is what we're going with, I guess.
Yes, gun guy.
Yeah, that matchup is something that I want to draw attention to as well, right? Crafty Fox has been so amazing at just off-angling, getting, in fact, bailing Orthus out of these situations where they should be losing. And Arsena has just been consistently putting up work, right? I mean, it's a matter of Crafty Fox popping off and Arsena being consistent, but, you know, average or above average.
And look at this. Now we have the full commit to the rush compositions. One team destroyed the other with rush, and map 1, the other destroyed the other with the other. Words are hard. Okay, I'm sorry.
Words are hard. Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry. It's fine.
It's not like it's my job.
Does get invested super early on there. Reinhardt falls because of it. Prophecy, a little bit of a mistake, and by a little bit, I mean a huge one, because now Orthus could potentially cap up the first point off the back of that.
Yeah, I mean that's massive. The wall there from Black Icy is also a big difference between these two teams because Yuki is still on the Reaper as opposed to the Mei. I mean that's just so now you get a bit more of area control here. It looks like they are gonna contest, or no, they're not gonna contest. That's a pretty good
Contest.
pick onto Valkyrie.
What are you doing? C9! Oh no, they didn't get there in time. Oh, that is so sad, but Aston does use the Dragon Strike to try and get onto that point. And it is OT, so this fight would be huge, but a slam comes through! Asif lands 5 and just knocks him down to the ground. That is huge. And all of a sudden now have an opportunity to get back into this. I'm just going to keep on pushing this forward.
That was an odd decision to wait. I guess it makes sense because capping the point really doesn't matter too much. What really matters is just winning a team fight overall, but like, still, the fact that Asuna gets that first pick is just totally negated by the fact that they're kind of rushing to try to make the point now that they realize they can win the team fight just based off of that. I don't know, it's weird.
Absolutely, and this high ground control is actually really good for Invade's Codebreakers. They're going to sit there and put an Amp Matrix on it if they really want to, but they're going to go for a hard engage in. So much damage coming through into the backline there. A slam as well, it'll take down a couple of squishies, but will it die off? Black Icy and Crafty Fox certainly do, and that bomb will end up, forcing out their Mortality Filthy Prophecy, who is on very low HP, but not able to be killed off here because there's no DPS on Orthus. Instead, it's a slam that comes through. Gramillion is so low, taken down by Oppie. This is such a back and forth fight, but Arsene uses the Dragon Strike that'll force everyone away from the point. They managed to take out the enemy Lucio, Valkyrie, unable to keep people alive with the healing now. In fact, importantly, Baptiste is able to die now. And the Egoist falls, Oppie will soon follow. And Orthus, they got it pretty far there, given that, they shouldn't have won that, first point fight, in my opinion.
Yeah, they managed to bring it back in the end, just barely managing to win that team fight under the staircase on second point. And now, you do have yet again a goal set for yourself. One of the advantages of attacking, or one of the disadvantages of attacking first is when you get to overtime, the enemy team just has a clear goal of what they want to do. In order to finish this map, in order to get the win. Very clear goal. Just make it to that exact same point.
Yep, and I mean, it's a decent ask. I mean, you've got 1:10 and you've got to win 3-4 consecutive team fights. It's very difficult to do here for Invade's Codebreakers, but if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be them.
Yeah, and look at the composition there. They might be coming off with again on attack. They want to run this dive combination with the Pharah Echo. It's interesting to see if this is going to work again.
The Hanzo Zarya. That's a Grav Dragon that can basically just win a team fight just in a couple of Q-clicks. And there's no beat. Invade's aren't going to play with a beat here, it looks like. So that is basically just a free team fight win. And if Orthus timed that correctly, this could be a map win for them.
Yeah, very smart decision to go with that composition. However, if Codebreaker manages to keep getting picks, if Yuki is managing to contest the DPS, make sure that they're not getting, these picks, and it is doable. It is doable for Codebreakers.
It's doable,
and just like that.
And that is just how, Yuki manages to get a kill, and looking for a little bit more as well, just dealing the damage to the remaining squishies that are overextended slightly, given the situation is, there's nothing you can do here. You can try and back up, but you're just going to get walked onto by Invade's front line. Asunas are also controlling the high ground here against the enemy soldier of Crafty, who, has to try and make a play here, at least in some way, shape, or form, but Oppie's already half HP. Oscar might actually fall here. No, manages to stay alive just barely, but that was way too close for comfort. And Codebreakers, they're going to go for the hard engage now. Winston's getting in there with a Tesla cannon, but that was way too direct. They just run straight into the enemy Reinhardt, and with 15 seconds remaining, that could be the blunder that just loses the map. Black Icy gets taken down, so it's at least turned it around ever so slightly. Yuki needs the barrage here, takes down Crafty, and going to turn around, but doesn't manage to take out Oppie in time. It's 3 seconds remaining. Invades are going to have to use this nano boost onto someone, but the slam comes through. Prophecy still is up alive and running, and they're going to use it onto, I believe, the Mercy? What on earth is that? Apocalypse not even going to whip out the Glock in this situation, and that will be what loses them the map. They're losing the team fight here.
That was a not good misclick. I have to imagine that was just a desperation nano onto any target that Prophecy could see, as a Reinhardt was just swinging his big ol' hammer at them. But yeah, great defense from Orthus in overtime, and they will take the lead in this series. I did like the engage from Gremlin on the Winston there. They did get burned down immediately, but Yuki was in a position where they could capitalize off of it. They did manage to get a pick onto the Lucio, I believe, but it just wasn't enough. They just weren't able to get enough of value onto that onto the back line there. So unfortunately, did not work. Orthus pulling in the win there. They managed to abate they managed to get that third map.
Yeah, and I believe this is first to 3, if I'm not mistaken.
It is first to 3, yes. So I mean,
yeah, so we are on match point now. This is actually huge for Orthus because they've kind of denied Invades from making this kind of comeback that we were talking about, right? Invades definitely the underdog here, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been so close these last 2 maps. If another map happens where it's just similar to Nepal and Codebreakers just falls down with their backs to them, basically
face planting, yeah,
face planting in their failure. I feel like that shouldn't happen. Like, Codebreakers should not be dismayed whatsoever. They still have a really good chance of winning this game if they just keep focused, keep their priorities on what they're doing well, and just making sure that they can get the best out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about the mental game here for Invades Codebreakers, right? You've got to come into this thinking, okay, you know, we're a map down, but we did win a map, and we can replicate that again, as long as you just deal with Orthus' problems, which I think are primarily manifested in their DPS line, right? Orthus have been so good at getting the first elimination or turning around losable fights by just clicking heads, right? It's that easy. And Orthus, they need to stop getting away with that, and somehow Invades need to, maybe it's the common structure, maybe it's something to do with just their mental, but they got to do something to at least deal with the DPS.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Crafty and Black Ice are both putting on some great performances on Orthus here, but not enough, obviously. Definitely, I feel like this really is a battle then between who can support their DPS better then, because if Yuki is going in and you know, they're trying to find picks here, I feel like they need to have better coordination between Yuki and Gremlin on that tank, or even Ilan on the off tank here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And something I wanted to mention there as well is that in the case of Orthus actually getting that Grav Dragon online, which, I mean, it was a solid strategy, right? It would have worked. You would have needed like a DVE or something. I think Ilan coming into the next maps, if Invades managed to make it as close as that and Orthus whip out the Grav Dragon strategy again, it's gonna come down. It's gonna come down to that D.Va, right? Whether they can eat that, not the Blizzard, the Graviton Surge or the Dragon Strike. Either one of them works. And generally, I mean, Invades, they've had, I believe, 1 E already in the series. I think it was onto a Blizzard. So at least we know they can do it. But that's only if Orthus bring out that strategy again.
Yeah, well, we'll see if it happens again, because we do have the next map decided. It is going to be Hanamura for Assault. Personally, I will say my favorite Assault map. Personally, I know that 2CP is too soon to be taken away from us. Our time with it was not was not long enough, or maybe some people will say that it was too long, way too long.
A little bit too long, just like the 2CP fights, in fact.
Oh, for sure, for sure. But in terms of compositions that can be run on Hanamura, we can see a bit more of that Pharah Echo, or we can see a bit more of the dive, or even like some Wrecking Ball. Neither of these teams has pulled out a Wrecking Ball yet, so it looks like both of these teams are much more comfortable running rush and or dive compositions.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, and I don't think double shield is the way to go here, to be honest, on Hanamura. As much as some teams make an argument for, Arista D.Va, Arista Sigma comps being alright on Hanamura, I think it's just a little bit too static. You can get out-rotated so easily by the attackers that I think you've just got to play something with high mobility, and that comes under, a 6-man, it comes under Brawl, maybe you look at a dive comp, or you just put that Pharah in there and stop the rotation altogether.
I definitely do think we're going to see a lot of Pharah this map. I mean, first point especially is such a good.
Got it right. Yeah.
It's such a great, especially with that, you know, the gate entrance. They just have so many angles to play from. Could even see some more hit scan, maybe some Ashe or Widow, or you could stick with the Cowboy if it keeps going in that direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Cowboys definitely been good for Crafty, but I think it's a hard pick to play on Hanamura, and the reason being is that you like a McCree. Sure, you've got mid range, you've got short range, but you might just get like out sniped by like an Ashe or something, right? I mean, that is always an option, and playing Cowboy is so hard in that situation.
Yeah, for sure. I honestly, the only reason people should play McCree is if you're playing against some kind of like Winston or Wrecking Ball to be able to stop that aggression coming in, or even like a Tracer, obviously. And that's why Ashe is a lot better or a lot more useful in most of these situations, because they have ways of mitigating that aggression with like the knockback from the shoulder gun and stuff like that, and also just normal left click. And so that's why I think Ashe is a lot better in most of these situations, especially with an echo on them as well. They could get the pocket if it's not already being put onto the Pharah. But yeah, I mean, but in those situations, then you would want to run something more like a bunker composition. So maybe like not double shield, but you could even run something like Orisa Diva or something to that effect.
Yeah. And you make a good point there about the Ashe Echo or the Ashe Pharah, right? Because that is something that was attempted on, I believe, Nepal by Codebreakers. They tried to put Asuna and Yuki on the Ashe Echo. Naturally, it didn't work out because Yuki was missing shots every single time on Echo. I made that reference before.
Let's not
talk about
that. Map 1. I mean, come on, that's that was a different team. Like. They signed a whole new team in between map 1 and map 2, basically.
The point is they can play Ashe Echo, just not to a great degree.
Yeah, probably not, I would imagine. But it honestly depends. Also, we've just been forgetting the fact that Hanamura is one of the best Symmetra maps in the game. Like this is a map where there are so many strategies revolving around Symmetra, and being able to play like Rush with her. Obviously, it's harder for these teams to do because there's less coordination with, you know, plat and gold players, so it's going to be harder for them to get value out of it. Actually, it looks like we're going to be getting a sub here actually for
for
Orthis.
Tiki is in for Black Icy.
Yeah, so Tiki played on the first map for them. I can't even remember what they played, to be honest.
Does this indicate no more Mei or no more Pharah? Because
it could be both.
They were playing both. Yeah, it could be both.
I can't even
remember.
Is
Tiki like maybe a Tracer specialist? Maybe Ashe Tracer on the defense?
Looks like they mostly play Sombra, Mei, Hanzo, so maybe they want to match the Hanzo coming out from Asuna here. It looks like they're going to go with them playing Pharah.
Okay, clearly the sub wasn't made for the defense then. I'm assuming it's an offense sub, right?
Probably.
Because otherwise you would just keep the other person, Black Icy, on Pharah here, right? Unless it's because they think that Black Icy was getting diffed, which I don't think was the case.
Yeah, I think it was pretty... I think I was at least even between the two of them. So, I mean, maybe Tiki is coming in...
Though.
I don't know. Maybe Tiki just can't play Mei. Not sure. Well, we will see if they have anything different coming out for offense, because on defense, it looks like they want to run the same composition they've been running this whole time. Codebreakers, on the other hand, they're taking my suggestion. They're going with the Symmetra here. Oh my god, a lot of damage.
And this is so easy for Tiki to just spam damage into, because as soon as that TP comes through, you know where everyone's going to end up. And look at this. I mean, Tiki might even be able to get a Conch Blast off there. Yep. Forces Asuna forward onto the point. Maybe someone could be vulnerable here, though, as Ophi has to try and back up just a little bit. That is a very, very aggressive play from Asif. They managed to get out alive, but should not have by any means. I'm going to tell you that much. Crafty Fox will get taken down, though. Oh, no. Trick's gone. The Forest is going to try and come back and deal damage, but... unless they get the barrage up, which might even be the case here.
Yep,
they're going to come close to it, and they have it online. They might come through the outskirts and use it. They're going to. It's going to get matrixed up, though. Finds nothing, and the point's just slowly going to go in the favor of Codebreakers. And our matrix that finds no value, probably not the greatest ultimate investment, but I guess it's necessary in their eyes.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing, it makes them a little more wary of being in that position, I guess. But Tiki's still alive. They do manage to get killed off right here, and then Crafty is going to be able to contest point. Not for long. Ultimately, the Symmetra strategy worked because Tiki wasn't able to find that much value on that Pharah. Asif was going in there, you know, trying to make, you know, a distraction for Tiki to try to find, you know, more picks, but ultimately it just didn't happen. It looks like they're going to be staying on this Symmetra for point B, which is also really good because you can, you know, you can go so many different avenues with this Symmetra TP. That's why I love it on this map.
Absolutely, and it looks like they're going to do just that. They wanted maybe TP around, but they're met on the catwalk by Asif, so that's a very, very aggressive play. And it's actually going to get punished here as well. A solo slam onto the Reinhardt. Oh my lord, and they're going to go for a pin as well onto the Lucio, who, I mean, doesn't get taken out there, but forces them away a little bit. Now the TP will come through. Are they going to take it? Doesn't look like they will. Instead, Grimnel is just going to wait there, and they're going to try and take high ground. Tiki gets taken out. Now they take the TP. Now they can drop down upon the enemy team. Orthus, they're just getting slapped around like fish.
Yeah, they definitely have some set strategies for what to use the TP for on this second map. You're seeing it work out beautifully for them. Oh my god, Gremlin is barely able to get away from that bomb.
How was Crafty alive? They were just being chased down a moment ago, but they're still on the left side. Yuki might go for a little bit of a peel play, but they're going to get flashed up and take it down. No shot that Invades Codebreakers lose that. They had a very easily confirmable kill onto Crafty, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah, I guess he got the Mega and then they just decided they didn't want to deal with him, or they forgot.
Yes.
Not sure. Gremlin's charges have been kind of wonky so far in this series, I will say, but you know, it's mostly just that big main tank energy that's coming out. Oppie gets kind of staggered out, I would say, but not really because they have spawn advantage. They won't be able to contest them at this point.
They have like a 5-second period where they can just get in here. They use the Blizzard because they know it can't be eaten up.
Oh!
But instead it's going to be a slam that comes through. Oh my lord. Asif just bailing their team out of that situation, and yeah, cleanup's all there. Brilliant.
Yeah, the Blizzard thrown in there just for good assurance, but I think that Shatter was more than enough to secure that. They obviously wanted to get into that area while that Diva was still on respawn. But a great awareness from Asif to just lay the law down with that Reinhardt Shatter. I feel like this is a battle now between which of these Reinhardts can find the most value.
Grimmelin could be the one in this team fight, given they have the Shatter building up soon. They just gotta get in there, swing in, and hope for the best, as Crafty just has a very good firing line here. They might even go for a flash. Almost takes the name in Reinhardt, but they're gonna get a 6-man slam coming through. Grimmelin just gets so many kills off of that. Crafty Fox will go for a high noon, but walled off expertly there by Yuki. Now it'll be a drop down onto the point for Invades Codebreakers. They're diverting their attention over to the remaining squishies, and they're taking a lot of time to kill them off. Actually, there's going to be a 3-man recontest. It looks like as Tiki swaps over to the Bastion. It'll deal a lot of damage, to be fair. They get a DMAC through onto Illan, and the Reinhardt goes low as well. As long as they can keep contesting this is huge, and Egoist is staying alive through it all. There's a DMAC that comes through there onto Illan, but they get the remake through, and I mean, this could be a big bomb coming through from Oppie, actually. It breaks his shield kind of a little bit there, and Tiki's a little bit tender, gets taken down by Prophecy there, but Austin's traded out. No way that Orthus come back into this, but it looks like they're going to do just that. Asif comes back and is going to stall out on the point here with the help of the Immortality Field. But the DMAC comes through onto Oppie, and I think Invades have the potential to confirm this, but yeah, they managed to just in time here.
They need to kill this ball right now.
Yeah, if they don't kill the ball, that's it.
Because Tiki's back on Bastion. And they're just gonna rain down damage because there's not and there's no more heals for Tiki's gonna get this sentry, this tank mode. Okay, he manages to get caught out by the Blizzard. But this mines now.
Now those mines are big, but it's not going to matter too much. And Force never off the point, actually, as a high noon will come through. It is a May wall to stop that from happening, but it's still stalling. Orthus coming back, and they've actually got a kill onto Asuna as well.
Gremlin, don't go in.
Repeatedly getting these singular picks, and somehow Orthus are in this. There's a beat that comes through from Alpacalypse, but it's too late. They jump beated, so they didn't help the Reinhardt out at all. Oh no, that's a basic Lucio mistake, and now Arsena's going to have to try and clutch things up with the high noon. No one touches. Asif gets there a little bit too late. That was way too close for comfort.
Very close for comfort. Gremlin, good job on staying alive for that long, especially up against a Bastion just trying to rain down damage on you. I do appreciate the Bastion panic pick there from Tiki. It almost worked, but unfortunately the rest of your team wasn't able to capitalize on the damage that they were outputting, and the off angles just weren't enough because you were, obviously coming out from spawn. So not many oh, nice stats. Nice stats, I will say. But yeah, I mean,
lovely stats.
I mean, if Tiki continues this Bastion play, I definitely will just automatically give them MVP right there, even if they lose the series. But
hey, 2.2k damage done. That's more than I get on May in my comp games. So it's something at least.
It's something for sure, for sure. Maybe he thought that it was going to be the reworked version of Bastion, where they would get like the COD tactical ultimates and just rain down damage on the enemy team. Unfortunately, did not work, and the take ultimate that he did get was kind of useless in the long run.
Yeah, this isn't Overwatch 2 just yet. Although, to be fair, with how DPS oriented these team fights are going, it does feel like Overwatch 2 sometimes. I will admit.
Yeah, for sure. Codebreakers, they're gonna be, look at this, they're gonna be playing a bunker composition with Gremlin on the Orisa, Illin on the Diva, and a lot of poke with Hanzo Pharah. So this is going to be interesting to see it being played against a Wrecking Ball composition.
Yeah, I'm not too sure on this Wrecking Ball composition, to be honest.
It looks like he's having fun.
But it'll be difficult to make work, because you got to get in there, you got to get into position in the back line to get a pile drive through, and there's a split play coming through actually from the Codebreakers. They've got the Arrest on one side, Deep on the other. It's going to be so hard.
Yeah, I don't know what they're waiting for, to be honest with you. Are we lagging?
What's going on?
I'm not sure. I saw that Tiki was kind of acting weird. Maybe
probably
they
just standing there and waiting, I don't know. Anyway, we get the roll through coming through, so finally Asif is going to get set up in the back line, and Arsena not hitting a single shot, finally lands one onto the ball, but it's going to be a Pharah duel now. Yuki trying to get in the face of Tiki. And maybe could be one actually, but that, I mean, Illin's going down quite low. In fact, Tiki doesn't even care about the Pharah duel at this point. Crafty Fox can get the melee kill onto Arsena, so I'm guessing that was a one-clip into that. As, well, finally Yuki wins that duel against Tiki, clearly neglected for too long. And that Diva is going to try and contest him, but it's going to be difficult to do. Mercy's actually quite easy to kill there, but unfortunately Yuki does divert their attention away. Crafty Fox is going to get taken down here, and the attack seems to be docked for just a moment.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, without the damage coming in from the Pharah, I mean, what is Alpaca even doing there?
Ooh.
Valkyrie, they get caught out of position right there. Manages to get staggered there, so now gonna have to wait a little bit longer. Asif's somewhere in the background. I'm not sure where they are. They're just kind of going on their own little adventure, I feel like. Oh, okay, there they are.
They're on the left side, yeah. Well, I mean, this barrage is coming up soon for Yuki, and Tiki's, well, not as close to building it, so Yuki could go for a very aggressive barrage play if they really want to. They get the direct onto the enemy Pharah, actually. Tiki, under a lot of pressure, gets antied up as well. They're 1 HP, just breathe on them for crying out loud. It doesn't happen. Instead, it's Arsena and Prophecy that fall. Yuki could invest the barrage if they want to turn things around, but there's no one there to shoot. Everyone has mobility and can just get away from the barrage, and yeah, invades Codebreakers. The defense ends here for them as Authors are in. That is a weird investment, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I feel like they were just too looking for a opportunity that wasn't gonna come to them.
Wait a minute.
Okay, then.
Wait, invades are back in this low. I mean, Tiki is still wreaking havoc on the point, but the res onto Yuki means that they can just take this duel freely, and they've been winning this so far. Arsena gets the hit up onto them, and Nana boost onto the Pharah as well. Means that this is a 100% confirmed team fight. How did Codebreakers do that? Not even a single tick.
Oh, the Ego is just running after the Wrecking Ball in desperation. Please pick me up. Don't let the Pharah kill me. Oh. But yeah, I mean, Yuki is doing something on this Pharah. I don't know whether I like it or not, but you know what? They're putting in the necessary work, and it looks like Orthis is really having trouble. I mean, they switch over to the Cowboy just to try to deal with them a little bit better. They don't want to run this Wrecking Ball anymore. It looks like they just want to run Rush.
Yeah, that is a very, very aggressive beat, actually, but only gets them to the point and not onto it, as that bomb will come through. RP manages to catch 2 and 1 with the remech as well, so the beat did end up working out for them. Finally, Orthus managed to get this first point cap up, but it took him a long time.
Yeah, with how conservatively Tiki was playing too for most of that map, or Yuki, I should say, was playing for most of that map. I'm kind of surprised it took them as long as it did to capture first point. But yeah, I mean that bomb and then the D-Mech kill right after just to put the Orisa to shame. Definitely doing good work there.
10,000 damage eaten on D.Va. That is so high considering we're only halfway through Hanamura. Oh my lord.
That is actually kind of crazy.
Yeah, Asuna's taken down. They're actually out-sniped by Tiki. It appears May is a sniper, by the way. As the amplification matrix as well will force everyone back. But Yuki just burst through them all with the barrage. Oh! Can they get a 6k? They have to get the Lucio that's escaping. Can they do it? Yes, they can. Nice 6k from Yuki there.
Someone give this person a gold medal. They have done it. They won the series.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Alright, well, so you have the barrage now, and now the great thing is that Asuna now has this Dragons, which is going to be able to once again free up this high ground from any sort of aggression that comes through it. I don't think this Blizzard from Tiki is going to be able to stave off a powerful ultimate like that, but we will see. It's going to be interesting to see how Asif uses this Shatter. They're going to go towards Asuna on this off angle. Asuna's just kind of in no man's land.
Yeah, and that High Noon as well comes through, but doesn't catch anything. Crafty Fox cancels it immediately, so probably in a little bit of danger there. As now Asuna kind of caught out on the left side, gonna get aggressed onto, taken out, and a slam misses there actually, but the Blizzard should be able to keep him alive through this, and there's a remech bomb comes through from Ilan there. 2 ticks gain, someone's gonna have to try and get on it. Is that Mercy with a Valve? And they're trying to keep the Reinhardt alive. Grimillan almost has that Shatter up. They get stunned up, but they might have that now. The Dragon Strike actually comes through for Arsenic here, so no Shatter necessary. Clears everyone off the point. And now a guaranteed better time bank here for Invades.
Yeah, almost turned scary there for Codebreakers because Orthus just saw the lone Hanzo off on his own and decided, hey, we have 6 people. We can probably go beat him up a little bit. And they did. But, yeah, I mean, this allows Yuki to get halfway to another barrage, which they can also use. Tiki used the Blizzard in order to try to secure that team fight. Not gonna work anymore. And now Beat, they're gonna Beat to go on to point to try to get this last tick. Oh my gosh, they almost did. And it looks like Orthus will, oh no, sorry, Conquerors will stave off. Orthus will get this second point. And sorry, looks like Toasty is having a bit of technical issues with his nose. I didn't know you could have technical issues with your nose, to be honest with you. It is a very delicate instrument a lot of the time, which is why which is weird because it's secured like right on your face, which means that it's easily breakable. But while he gets that fixed up for you, we'll have overtime coming in from both of these teams here, and it's gonna be interesting because now what do you run? I feel like if you're Codebreakers, you do want to maybe continue playing with this. It looks like they will. They want to continue playing with this Pharah Hanzo combination that gave them a lot of good hold, a very good hold on first point. And then Arthas is going to continue playing with this rush. So they feel pretty confident they can once again get second point.
Okay, I think I'm good for the most part now.
Is your nose working again?
It's dripping slightly, but you know, it's fine. Nosebleeds happen in the heat of the moment, I guess. It was too intense a gameplay, clearly.
Yeah, I got a little bit worried there, but if all that's broken is your nose, then I think you have like a 50% chance of living, if I'm correct. But yeah, I mean,
okay, that's good chances. Speaking of good chances, well, that's an immediate good chance here. Orthus, they keep it straight onto the point, take out the Pharah. That's the main issue gone, and yeah, a nice first point cap coming through here, despite that form and anti-prophecy. I mean, they tried their best, but it was just a little bit too late.
Yeah, once again, the Symmetra TP working out in favor for Orthus at this time. I feel they didn't have this on their first go around. They just decided that they might as well try to make it work since it worked so well for Codebreakers on the last round. And now they're gonna go to the left side, but they're gonna get scouted out by Yuki here. But
No!
the
Crafty! What on earth is that?
that wasn't even a boop.
No.
I think he just walked up. Does he
jumped
not have
off,
his?
He just jumped straight forward. He thought he was TPing.
I feel like he has his interact key unbound. This isn't 2019. That it's not. It's not. You can't do that no more. You have to have it bound to something.
Yeah, definitely. But
now,
I mean, they'll be back in time for the recontest. It depends on if they'll get a good recontest or not, right? I mean, they're gonna try and return. But there's got to be some aggression come through from Orphis. They're going to try and get in here. They get the Ammetrix Fire Strike, actually, as Valkyrie touches the point and gets on it in time. But Tiki's going down so low, and so is the Egoist. There's no shot of them winning this fight. Now, the Symmetra was there just a little bit too late. A big slam coming through, actually, from Orphis to try and turn this around, but Immortality Field docks any hopes of that happening. Only 1 point gain for Orphis, but at least it's a point.
It is a point. I mean, like, first point is very easy to hold. In a lot of cases, if you're running a composition that you're comfortable with. And so them getting this first point was good, especially with the time that they got, or what they had. They only had like a minute or 2 seconds, I'm assuming. But yeah, I feel like, all right, so now we got the Codebreakers. They need to come up with some good stuff. Are they going to stick with the Symmetra that they went for on first point? Because Orthis is definitely going to be expecting it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Orthis, well, okay. Never mind. Just ignore every point I was about to make there. They're playing Bastion. Without Tiki on the Bastion, so we're not getting the Tiki Bastion again. It's Crafty this time instead.
Well, I mean, they must have figured the Bastion would work in some sense, and they even got the Torb too. So it looks like they just want to cheese their way to a match win, which, honestly, if this is the way they win, go ahead and just give them the whole rookie division. Just do it, honestly. The only thing that would make this better is if Oppie was on Roadhog.
Honestly, that would be funny. That would be like just the massive troll pick, but I think they want to win.
I feel like this comp is going to be so cheesy that it's going to work. It's one of those comps that you just pull out and then just it works because the enemy's just, what are they doing? They're just staying on point.
What?
What
Bro,
the heck, dude?
Okay,
now they're
they
cheesing it too hard now. I said that the cheese might work. They're cheesing it too hard now.
Oh god. And the fact that Yuki can just like walk in, freeze the Bastion, and hope to god they don't die. Like, that's probably the strategy.
Like, they have to know what's happening here.
Oh, what a TP. It gets straight onto the point and actually walls off the Bastion, but is there going to be damage coming through? Crafty Fox takes out the
Gremlin goes down.
Vermilion. And yeah, Austin's going to fall as well, so the Bastion strategy is actually working out here. Oppie's going to get rezzed up, so it's back to a 6-man. And there's going to be stagger picks probably if the Bastion can get the damage through. Yeah.
Never mind, I don't like this anymore. I don't like this anymore.
I don't think Invades do either.
But I also think that Crafty, 60% way to an ultimate here. I mean, what else are they going to do? They already know they're playing Symmetra TP. They're set up on points. Where could you go from here? Do you want to teleport to... You can't teleport directly to points. You're just going to get...
I would have stopped Sombra Farah, to be honest.
I mean, I think it's way too late to make any changes now. They're stuck with this. They had to live with their decision to run this, and unfortunately, it might cost them this match.
You never know. I mean, there's a Bastion ultimate coming up soon here, so Crafty Fox does have the opportunity to use that if they need to. Now it'll be some aggression coming from to the point. Invades, they want to start walking up, but immediately Yuki just goes down so low to the Bastion. Crafty Fox in a little bit of a precarious position, but now we'll use the Bastion ultimate. This is so much one-shot potential coming through. It's going to try and get Matrixed up, but it's not going to happen. So many shots just being landed over and over again, and even though Crafty Fox does die, it doesn't matter whatsoever. All of this, they've pretty much won the series as far as I'm concerned, and yeah, Oppie does the finishing touches for them there. It wasn't a finessed victory, but it was a cheesed one instead. Orthus win out Hanamura, win out the series, and Invades, their hopes are crushed.
Yeah, I want to give props to Codebreakers. They really did. Okay, get that stat off screen. I don't want it anywhere near.
Yeah, no,
I don't want it anywhere
disgusting.
near. Thank you, operator.
More damage than Tiki Bastion, to be fair.
I mean, it wasn't just the Bastion, obviously, on that final point. It was a combination of, obviously, the bunker, the double shield bunker with Bastion, and also the fact that they were playing Torbjorn. So that you had like 4 different angles that, or 4 different heroes that were doing long, medium range damage, and it's too much to deal with, especially when you're running like a Symmetra Mei that's, they expected probably to run up against like a Pharah in they probably expected to run up against a Pharah on that defense, but they just were not expecting that cheese.
Speaking of Pharah as well, let's take a little bit look at the Pharah stats as well between, Tiki and Crafty Fox for a second, but I think that was the wrong graphic. But we are looking at the Pharah stats of, I believe, Codebreaker's Pharah at some
Yuki.
point here. Yuki, there we go. So we got that damage done per 10, 12,000, which is a good amount.
It's over 9,000.
Oh my god, dude.
I'll stop.
That's
I'm sorry.
Perfect way to end off the series. Start the series, I mentioned the anime reference, and then you make that reference. Oh,
I'm
Lord.
sorry.
No, don't apologize. That's a funny reference. I love it. I love it, man.
But yeah, I mean,
yeah, Yuki was dominating.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Yuki was. You say that they were getting diffed. I feel like they were putting up some admirable performances.
I didn't say that.
Sometimes
I said they thought they were getting diffed.
Either way, like, it's kind of like both ways, right? Like, it was a very even match between them and, I mean, whoever the heck was playing far on the enemy team, whether it was Tiki or Black Ice. Yuki put up a valiant effort. Definitely deserves some admiration or some props for putting up those stats. But yeah, I mean, Codebreaker. I wanted to say Codebreaker was just after that first map. Obviously, it was such a slaughter fest, and they just did not look good at all. And after that first map, they really did bring it back. They made it competitive. They won King's Row by the skin of their teeth, and they really showed that they could, stand up against. They could stand up against the rush from Orthus.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I honestly think that Yuki was one of the redeeming qualities there for Codebreakers, right? They kind of had their hopes drained out of them as the series went on. Sure, they battled back on King's Row, but it was scrappy, right? It was never a clean-cut win on King's Row. They were never clean-cut victors. And unfortunately, they just couldn't convert as some of those team fights that they should have been converting, right? I mean, I was talking about the ones clutching it, being the opposing team, being Orthus, but it ended up instead being Codebreakers that just fumbled a lot of those fights, not even this clutch coming through from the opposing team.
Yeah, and that pretty much goes down to the coordination. So one thing I want to see Codebreakers working on moving forward is coordination between your tanks and your DPS, because I feel like Gremlin had such a good performance, and the Ilin as well, that if you do get coordinated with your DPS a bit more, put more emphasis on making set plays perhaps, or following up on aggression, then yeah, this team could bring it back. This is only week 1, you know what I mean? Like, this might be a relatively new team, or maybe they've been playing together for a little bit, but as for Get Good, the rookie division, this is still week 1, and you can definitely bring it back and improve from here on. I mean, that's the whole point of these tournaments, is to get together with some people who want to improve and do that ultimately.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is the main aim of the game here. But as far as the stream goes, we will be finishing off here, everyone. Thank you for sticking with us for the 2 games that we casted. Sure, they were kind of one-sided apart from this final game. But, it was fun either way, Diggy. Thank you for casting with me, of course. Thank you to all our production as well. We will be having a lot of NA coverage, I believe, later on tonight.
Yes.
Or I think it might be on Sunday, I'm not sure. But either way, stick around for that, I guess. And we'll be seeing you all next time.